And now I stand here at the end of forever myself. And as my mind clears,
Hello and welcome to the Dreamhack Dallas main stage. This is the Rocket Clash. $20,000 up for grabs to determine the best women's Rocket League team on this entire planet. Brought to you all by Ally. Choose Ally for all of your banking needs. I'm your host, Danger Taco. Joined with me are the wonderful and magnetic personalities of Hercules and Karma. Karma, we'll start with you on the edge. What's it feel like to be here at the first international LAN competition for Women's Rocket League?
It's amazing. I feel super privileged to be invited, and I'm really excited for women, not only in esports, but women in our scene. This is huge and tremendous event. I'm just glad to be a part.
I mean, I'm the same way. I don't think I can even really put into words how much of an honor it is to be here. It's been such a short casting journey, and in that short period of time, there's been so much history made for women in Rocket League and in esports in general. And I'm just so happy to be here with you and with you here today, and I can't wait to get this started.
Yeah, and certainly we're going to have to go through quite a lot here. This is the Rocket Clash, so of course this is a women's Rocket League tournament, and we are whittled it down to 4 teams. So how they get here was a little bit more complicated. We had to go through open qualifiers last month, so these teams fought through a gauntlet of a lot of teams fighting for a chance to play here on LAN. We were able to whittle it down to 2 teams from NA and 2 teams from Europe. So we are going to have an international competition in which we get to speculate a lot in the women's scene about how this is actually going to play out. But now the ping is gone. We just have to focus on staring at each other across the stage. So these matchups throughout today are just going to be structured with 2 semifinals and then our grand final. So quick, easy breezy 3 best of 7s. And I would say within this structure, within really what Rocket Clash is all about here, Williams Resolve coming in from Europe is almost an untouchable force. Meanwhile, Misfits and Gen.G from NA have obviously been battling it out. And then Endpoint coming in, I would say, potentially as a relative underdog, but I want to get your thoughts, Karma, specifically with Williams Resolve. This is a team that has kind of a lot riding on it. There's obviously a lot of momentum behind them in the scene. What about this team makes them stand out so much?
I think it's the team chemistry overall, combined with just the mechanical skill, the ability to perform, flip resets in the air on command, and that cohesion, along with them being a team for almost a year now, I believe, solid. They have a huge record behind them. They've been very successful and confident, and I'm excited to see if it translates here.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one. I talked to some of the players last night, actually, and I asked them what it felt like to be coming in. Some of them are jet lagged. Some players were like, I'm skipping day 1 of Dreamhack to make sure I'm well rested for today. So this could go a number of ways. I think from what we've learned in our own personal league in the WCB, we have expectations of what we think today is going to play out as. I think the fact that this is the first time they're on LAN, though, that's going to shake a lot of things up.
Yes, absolutely there will. And so therefore, it's important to have that strong mental, but it's also important to have a support system. And all these players are fortunate enough to really have that. We were actually able to sit down with them and really go through that support system and what that means to have their family behind them.
The support has always been overwhelming. My mom and my sister are driving 24 hours straight to be here from Connecticut, so that's super cool. And I have a bunch of people coming to watch just from the area, so it means a lot to me.
My family is regards to esports and stuff, they're insane. Like my mom, even my teammates, my mom's she's crazy, I can't lie. But she's very supportive, so is my dad.
My whole family, especially my brother, they really support me. It means the world because they learned over time that this is something I'm incredibly passionate about, and I mean, my mom's literally coming here to watch me play live, so it's just such an insane feeling.
They've been overwhelmingly supportive. Shout out to my dad and my sister especially. When I play, I'm just so excited to make them proud.
My friends love that, they love being able to tell their coworkers that I play Rocket League. They're really excited whenever they get to talk about me. And I don't know how I feel about it, but whatever.
And it's so lovely to be able to hear from those players about what it really means to have everyone talk to them and be able to support them and pump them up. Because, yeah, it's important to be able to go through this journey and really focus in on what you individually can do. But being able to say, hey, no, you are doing a good job out there. Being able to keep that one up is huge. So being able to see that is always one of my favorite parts. But it's also nice to be able to see what the teams actually are, because we talked about the teams generally, but we're going to look at the bracket to see what this is going to look like. Again, it's somewhat abbreviated today. Only 4 teams, and that's just going to be 2 semis into our grands. Williams Resolve and Misfits Gaming, the EU #1 against the NA #2. And on the bottom side, we're going to have Endpoint CEVUV versus Gen.G Mobile 1 Racing Black. that is going to be the EU #2 seed and the NA #1 respectively. So obviously a lot to play for here, and I think when you look at these teams, Herc, very much so the teams you'd expect to be here.
Oh yeah, I remember keeping up with everybody coming into this one. Of course, there were a couple shakeups. I think there were other teams, anybody realistically could have made it here, but I look at some of the names in here. Misfits was a team that I absolutely expected to come on in, same with Gen.G. I think Williams Resolve is a team that everybody knew was going to make it here. Endpoint, really, like you said, you kind of alluded to at the beginning, in the most respectful way. They're coming into this as an underdog, but an underdog as a top 2 team. Like, to say that is insane, right? Like, the level of gameplay we're going to be getting today is so high in the skill cap that it really, truly could be anyone's game today.
Yeah, and to be able to go beyond that, obviously it's one thing to play for pride and bragging rights. It's also fun to play for heaps of money. So if we look at the prize pool, we are not just running a rinky-dink thing. You're not just getting free controllers and a t-shirt and a high five on your way out the door. It is $20,000 split between $10K for first, $5K for second and third and fourth. You're not going home empty-handed. Granted, you're going to want to be on that top side, but we have a lot of money to go around to reward these teams here today, and only natural considering that it is these top 4. So therefore, we will then pivot into things. It's enough talking about it. We need to get more into what we're actually going to be covering here. First series up, it's going to be Williams Resolve versus Misfits Gaming, and this is a matchup that has been hotly contested for quite some time, Karma.
It has, and now we get to see it take place live on stage, 0 ping, crowd, bright lights. This is what it means. This is what we all play for. And the fact that it's here, available now for these girls to take advantage, I'm so excited to see, just how everyone performs. And we're starting off with who I think are 2 maybe contenders to win the event. So it should be a great first match.
No, this is definitely a great one. I'm just going to keep going back to it the entire time. The skill cap is insane. If this is your first time watching these teams ever, you're about to see some craziness. I know that there's a huge stigma that women in Rocket League can't be SSLs or they can't be top players, and I'm standing next to a pro. So get it together, guys. And these women up next, it's going to be such incredible gameplay, but I can't wait to break them down individually, I think.
And absolutely, and you alluded to the fact that the women's scene is still a burgeoning scene in that it hasn't really come to the forefront yet. This type of tournament is great for that. So we should meet the players. First up, let's take a look at Williams Resolve.
We're really excited to be here. I think there's definitely some sort of pressure to perform, but we know what we're capable of. So there's definitely a lot of confidence coming in as well.
I think we just need to play our game and just do what we do, not get overtaken by the occasion. And yeah, I think should be fine.
There it is, Crimson, shot towards the net. It actually goes over, but she doubles.
I love the stage. I've done it a couple times before, and I'm always very excited. It's very exhilarating. I guess it's probably what you do it for, is those moments on stage. It's why we all want to be here.
We want to do our best, and we want to win. I mean, it's to win it, obviously. So I think there's no point in flying from all the way from the UK over to here to lose,
And that is Williams Resolve, Ducks, Crimson, and looking through with Steven. I mean, you look at that team, and I think Steven says it best, Eric, when saying, why are we flying all the way over here if we're not just going to win it all? That's a champion's mentality right there.
No, yeah, that absolutely is. I think Steven said it best. She was like, hey, there's no point in us coming here if there's not. The other one I think that was really great is if everybody shares the same mindset of don't let yourselves get taken over by the occasion. I think that was such an incredible statement for them to be coming in with, and a mindset that could actually be a huge difference maker, going forward.
Yeah, confidence for me is the key on LAN. You have to enter with the idea that you're going to win. You're the best player on the pitch. You're the best team here, and you have to get out there and show it. And it's, game 1 can be really difficult. So when we get started, I'm interested to see the first few minutes, and looking forward to the gameplay.
Yeah, setting a pace is so important, and obviously setting a bar is very important as well. Williams Resolve has done that, so therefore their opponents, Misfits Gaming, going to have to live up to that. Here is their roster.
We're different from other teams in that we're very systematic. At any given point, every player on the team knows where they should be, what they should be doing, and how a thing is going to turn out.
When we work together, it really feels like the only team that can beat us is ourselves. So it's just priority number one to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Off the wall, flip, reset, a finish out to Ravina. How do you defend against that?
I think we play pretty well under pressure. I know that I play a lot better under pressure. For some reason, I feel like I just get really zoned in when it's all on the line.
If we can prove to ourselves we can win today, then, you know, other events when, you know, they're just online, is chump change.
Honestly, I just hope to win it all, just so I can, like, prove that I'm pretty good at the game.
Well, they say they play well under pressure, and I suppose this is the best possible test for that. We're going to be on land going up against a favorite coming from abroad in Williams Resolve, but Misfits and Williams Resolve going to be our first matchup, and obviously we're going to go through who we think might come out on top here, but of course we want to hear Twitch chat's prediction as well. Type in chat hashtag WILL for Williams Resolve or hashtag MIS for Misfits, and we will be able to hear what you think will come out on top here, because certainly it can go either way. Karma, we'll start with you going on the far side. If we're thinking about predictions, if we're thinking about who's coming out on top, who do you have your eye on, and who do you think is going to take it in the end?
Well, I think Misfits, if they can keep the communication solid, they can make the upset happen here. However, I'm going to have to go with Williams Resolve on this one. The record speaks for itself. I'm counting on the girls to bring that same energy to the stage to here, to Dallas, and come out with the win.
I think you said it best, and it's honestly a little bit of a hot take if you pay attention to the scene to say that Misfits are the ones attempting to pull an upset, but Williams Resolve, it's just they are them. When you compare teams in North America, even when it comes to Misfits, you're like, okay, Misfits is the Williams Resolve of NA, right? Mm-hmm. So you do it backwards, you do the math, a little calculations here and there. You can't not choose Williams Resolve.
You cannot. It's so hard to, which is why I'm going to choose against Williams Resolve, because I am a fan of Angie, one of my best friends in all of Rocket League, and I know her mentality going into this. She is incredibly critical of herself, but she is confident in her team. They feel like they can fix it all up, and I believe that they can take it in the end here. What do you think? We have been able to tabulate Twitch chat, and it looks like it's coming out a little bit more even, as we're going to have to figure out what's going on there in the future, I suppose. But at the very end, we can say as much as we want about being able to talk through who's going to come on top, who's actually going to be the absolute best team here, but there was only one way to do it. It's to show it on the field. It looks like the players are readying up. It looks like we're ready to get into the action, so we're going to send it over to our lovely casters. Karma and Herc, please get us into series number one.
All right, we're here. It's the first ever Women's Rocket League LAN. If you're out there, cheer for them. Make some noise. This is an extremely historic moment for Rocket League, everyone.
What's up, Dallas?
Woo!
All right, I'm so excited. You could tell probably while I was on the desk, I was like, I just want the match to start. Guys, can we just match start? So I'm excited. I'm so excited to get this match going. There's so much on the line, Herc.
Oh my God,
let's go. Let's put us in.
It is time. The first ever Women's Rocket League LAN is officially underway. Williams Resolve versus Misfits Gaming. The battle in the semifinals to see who is going to secure a spot. The grand final is going to start off with a shot there from Angie. Misfits Gaming, they're on the attack.
And for Misfits, it starts with Talia. I think she's got to be aggressive. She's got to be a leader for her team. Bring out that offensive prowess that I know she has. Be that facilitator and let her team kind of formulate around her.
There it is. Slow start to the beginning. And I say slow very generously. These two teams did not score in the first minute. It's very interesting. Ravina with a save there with a shot from Steven. Slow roller out. Here comes Dux around the corner, taking her time challenge from Angie. Crimson up next. Lots of follow-ups, or at least attempted ones coming out from Williams Resolve.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a hard battle for possession right now. Both of these teams so capable of controlling the ball. It's going to be really important in the decision-making when to challenge. As a ball drops in front, Dux gets the first goal of the Dallas LAN, and Williams Resolve is up 1.
There it is, your first one off the ceiling and the backboard. Ducks with the miniest of double taps to find her way into the back of the net. Williams Resolve up by 1.
You have to be careful as well if you're Misfits. You can't let Ducks get going early. She can be her at any time as she takes control again. Nicely defended by Ravina.
Now this is a best of 7, which means, you know, taking your time. What is the word? When, like running a marathon almost, right?
Marathon, not a sprint, exactly. And it's, you know, both of these teams have great coaches. On the Misfit side, you have Cotton Sandwich. He's a very tactical coach, and I know Misfits believe heavily in what he's saying. And then the other side, you have Tadpole for Williams Resolve, a former pro in the RLCS. So I'm interested to see the adjustments both teams are going to be making throughout the best of 7.
Again, game number 1, starting off a little slow. It's just Williams Resolve holding on to their 1-goal lead, trying to turn it into 2. But Misfits is aware of what level of defense they need to play right now. This ball gets left for Ducks, who tries to drop it down. Angie around the corner, able to get past one Williams Resolve player, but nobody can cross the midfield line. This is one of the few times we've seen Misfits break in and immediately transitions back.
And Angie tries to carefully play out the corner, but Crimson nicely defended to Ducks, who just missed the midfield pass. As Tally tries to transition, Crimson calms things down and dumps it right back into the defensive half.
There it is, Steven trying to challenge, doesn't win that 50 there. But Ducks is gonna take a shot of her own, and this one finds its way in. Williams Resolve go up by 2.
Yeah, Steven came across late, beautiful challenge. It caused the ball to go up into that corner area. It's really difficult to read. It bounces down, and Ducks, she's on top of it, and 2-0.
The pure level of aggression that Williams Resolve is putting on Misfits is honestly, I would argue, is a little intimidating. I will say though, Misfits, especially Tallybird, they have the capability to do that for themselves. This one actually is missed. Ravina tried to follow up a shot that got a little airborne, fell down. Just over halfway into this game though, Williams Resolve is holding on to their 2-0 lead. Misfits Gaming have found not the largest number of shots. I know that they would probably be hoping for more at this point, as this one floats in off the crossbar from Crimson.
Crimson, are you kidding me? Off the back wall, Ducks puts it up high, able to find and tuck it right underneath that crossbar. This is Williams Resolve showing you how dominant they can be, especially in the midfield. Misfits have to try and control the ball a little bit better in their defensive end.
There it is. It's Angie taking her time. Flick it to the net. Misfits Gaming have officially found their first goal of the land.
Angie, baby, catches it, 1 touch. Crimson tries to defend it, but no, that flicks top right. There's nothing you can do. You don't have to play defense when you get the goal on kickoff, Herc.
You know, okay, I keep going back to predictions. I don't want anybody to think that I don't think Misfits Gaming is capable of taking the series.
Oh, that's what I thought.
No, I don't think that by any means. Misfits, the entire WCB season, I rooted for Misfits Gaming in NA. Every chance I had, I was aware you can't take them down. The only time I've ever thought someone had the true potential was the #1 EU team.
Okay, Herc.
So it's just a slow beginning for them.
They'll find their form. It's just they're working their way out of defense. This Williams Resolve midfield, it's just putting such clamps down on the Misfits defense. They can't grab boosts. They can't get control. There's bumps coming everywhere. And Williams Resolve just flexing their muscle early on.
Yeah, it's really and truly, it's just hyper-aggression from Williams Resolve, not giving Misfits Gaming any time to breathe or let up, or like you said, even collect boost at the minimum, which is really what's been holding them back. Tallybird, she's doing what she can with a low amount of boost to try and get this ball into the net. Ravina up off the ceiling, challenged by Steven. This clear finds itself into the Misfits Gaming half, just under a minute to go. Misfits need 2 just to even tie up the game.
And it's always difficult, especially with under a minute remaining and you're struggling to get out of your defensive half. That's the kind of control you need. Is Tally off the back wall towards the middle, and now into a transition. Steven going for the flip reset, can't find it. And Ravina, I thought was gonna have the save, but Crimson out of nowhere, able to sneak it in near post.
That's that hyper-aggression. Look at her. She was pre-jumping, expecting Tallybird to miss it, and goes for the shot, finds it. Williams Resolve go up by 3, 37 seconds left.
Yeah, and I think that's that confidence her coming in. You know, Steven saw Tally up, didn't care, read the play, went for it anyway. Able to find the goal, and in my opinion, barring anything crazy, secure game one.
Yeah, this is an extremely secure game one. Even this one's still rolling. It's wide, but it's still crazy that it's even headed towards the net right now without a defender. 15 seconds left to go. I think it is almost absolutely safe to say this game one belongs to Williams Resolve, as Crimson puts another shot on target up off the ceiling. Just the slightest of touches to make sure it goes on in.
Yeah, Angie has the right idea. Laugh it off. It's only game one. It's a best of 7.
Exactly.
And, you know, the game was over anyway. And now it's on Misfits. How are they going to adjust? What's Clown Sandwich going to pull out for them? It's the ball into the corner as the final clock ticks down.
There it is. Ducks wasting the last few seconds in style. Just going to do one last pass as this one hits the ground. Williams Resolve takes game number 1 in this best of 7. And despite how large the margin of goals was, the difference in them, I still think Misfits played an incredible game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's usually these game ones in the best of 7 are a feeler game. You're not necessarily going all in. As we take a look here at Williams Resolve, nice attention to their coach, listening up. And that's really great to see, though. You know, sometimes players they're not as cohesive as Williams Resolve is showing here, and I always like to see that in teams, the camaraderie and the teammates. That's why I play sports or esports, right? It's the whole thing.
You do it because you can't. The rest of us are plat, and we didn't have a chance to begin with. Well, I think we're going to start game number 2 here very shortly. But in the meantime, let's break down that game number 1. I'm a little nervous for Misfits Gaming. We saw them. I know there are high expectations on them. Again, this is first LAN for a lot of these teams, right? I think Williams Resolve might have had a little bit of LAN experience in a previous EU LAN, so maybe their nerves are just, they don't come in as quickly.
Yeah, and it's also, you know, the confidence of their record as well. Misfits is coming in respectively as an underdog, and it's hard to define control, right? It's like, oh, just control the ball, but the decision-making going into that has to be a little bit better for Misfits. They're struggling in the boost department, and if you have no boost, you can't control the ball.
Exactly, and boost starving a team like Misfits Gaming is massive. Steven slowly trying to hold on to control. A couple of times I've seen some double commits. This one actually goes off the post. What was that save from Angie? Misfits stay alive as multiple shots go on target for Williams Resolve. This one headed towards that net. Ducks gonna send it on back.
There you go. Misfits, arguably their first chance of the game tally, had a shot at net there. Unable to find the target, but that's a good sign from Misfits, having a chance 30 seconds into game 2.
Look at this. The flick, the follow-up, it's high, maybe 3 times is the charm, or 4. Nobody's going for this ball. Steven's trying to set up her teammate. She knows that there was going to be a challenge there. 50 seconds in, still scoreless.
Tally trying to get that 50 out of her half. Steven, though, as Williams Resolve always does, right back in. Angie trying to find Ravine on the right side, makes the connection, but the fake gets read by Crimson. Man, Williams Resolve challenges are just on right now.
They really and truly are. Again, Williams Resolve came into this match, I think, with such an incredible mindset of not letting the pressure of this affect them. Nice pass there, no connection made. That could have been the first goal. But you try and try again, even if you can't make it. That, I feel like that's just a Williams Resolve way. You keep going until there's a clear, and somebody's got to go back on defense.
And when you're Williams Resolve and you're rotating and controlling the ball as well as they are, passes are open as Crimson finds the loose ball in front and able to sneak it in.
Look at that. Hair flip after. I love the confidence and the pure happiness. It is smiles and then immediate straight faces from Williams Resolve. 3:21 to go. Williams Resolve found their 1-goal lead on this one. That's all it really takes for them to hold on to. They know how to play a defensive game, but now things are starting to change. The demo from Talibert on the Ducks is a small indication of the level of aggression that this team can play when they start to get mad.
Absolutely. Demos are a great way to open space for your team if you're struggling to get any type of relief out of your defensive half. Demos are good to remove a player from that normal rotation that keeps you stuck in your half, open up some space and let your creativity take over.
Exactly, and here comes the creativity. Angie air dribbling this one towards the net, and the follow-up touch doesn't find its way in. win. But that was the Misfits Gaming we were all waiting to see. Ravina, this is a pass towards that net. Tallybird with the first goal for Misfits to tie up the game.
Ravina off the ceiling, nice pre-flip touch down to Tally. Tucks it in right middle. Crimson couldn't catch up to that one. Beautiful pass from Misfits. Let's see if they can keep up the momentum.
I have just been waiting for Tallybird to come alive, and same with Ravina. Look at her with the face into the back of the net. Ravina with a solo play for Misfits to go up by 1.
That's the Ravina I know. One's goddess goes in, has the 50 perfectly timed, dunks her into the bottom left. I mean, you can't do it any better.
No, you really can't. She is such an incredible player. This is her debut LAN. It is such a special day for her and everyone here. Here comes Tallybird up next. Angie patiently waiting. No boost in the tank, though. So this ball is going to fly all the way, centering itself over the Misfits Gaming net. She has enough. She sees her teammate. The flick over. She actually bumps Steven, though. That's a little worrisome.
Yeah, Williams Resolve had a great demo on Tally, who had just picked up the 100. So an opportunity kind of to the wayside, but now look at Williams Resolve. They made it a point. 2 straight offensive attacks combined with 2 straight demos.
This one's going to be, I think, a slow formulated play here. You saw the minds of Williams Resolve started to work. They want to do something together. They want to collaborate, try and get this ball into that net there, but as time goes on, that is a dangerous thing to give Misfits. Letting Misfits do any form of cooking, I don't know what you're formulating, I don't know at this point, but the more time you give Misfits Gaming time to do anything, the harder it's going to be to win against them.
Absolutely, they're all 3 chefs in the kitchen, capable of pulling any mechanical trick out at any time, as Steven demonstrates her great controls to the side wall. Crimson denied by Tally, but for how long as the passing play comes out, finds Ravina in transition, but turned aside for now.
Angie taking her time. She fakes out one. Can she get the flick over the next? No. We saw what the vision was. Tallybird is up next with the play. She wants to pitch this off the sidewall. She does so successfully. Drops it down. Crimson's going to take control. Taking her time. She gets one over Angie. Bumps her as well. And a challenge from Steven keeps this ball in that Misfits half, but not for long.
Notice how every time Misfits are going for the ball, they're keeping it close. They're keeping it on their hood. Utilize Ravina's great dribbling mentality like this. Give her space in the midfield and let Tally and Angie clean up.
Exactly. And if Williams Resolve start to pick up on it, I think that they're very aware that the game plan would be either to just bump or demo people out of the way to give her the ability to be able to do what she wants to do. This could be dangerous, though. Ravina, nice save over to the side. Tallybird's going to follow it up with a touch that allows this ball to at least break into this half here into the corner.
Uh-oh.
This is dangerous. There's enough time for one more play here. Is it going to be a successful one? 4 seconds left to go. It's still in play. And this one, it's still up. Dux is going. She sees her teammates. It hits the ground, and Misfits find a game for themselves.
Great adjustments from Misfits that game. It was clear that the message was received. Keep that ball close. We can't allow Williams Resolve to just keep running on their defensive back line. Great adjustment. And now what do you do if you're Williams Resolve? The other team's controlling the ball really well. You know that they're going to probably be dribbling more, right? So expect more aggression. Or you can counter that by challenging more aggressively, getting in their face a bit. And there's also the alternative of backing up, giving them that space and utilizing your teammates to challenge and force a free touch for you.
Exactly. I don't think anybody could have said it better than you. I think that Williams Resolve definitely does have the capability, though, to make those changes, if they really wanted to. But again, confidence. It's first LAN jitters. We don't know how much is going to affect them. They came into the first game extremely confident. We knew what the game plan was, what the strategy was going to be. But in game 2, it looked a lot different. And in turn, Misfits Gaming started to gain some confidence, which is really scary. Because when Misfits Gaming is confident, especially Tallybird, that woman has the capability to 1v3 anybody she would like.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw Tally demonstrate early on in that last game. She went up off the ceiling, double touch, almost was able to drop it down. It was a beautiful play. And then you had those Ravina solo dribbles off the kickoff that really got things going. Then the pass middle to Tally to set her up. Now it's on Williams Resolve. Can you make the adjustments? How are they going to challenge the nicely controlled ball that Misfits have done in game 2?
Well, we're going to find out here as we go to game number 3, opening up with a clear up towards the backboard. Angie's going to carry this one on down, but Steven's got another play, and she sets up herself to get this ball into that net. Williams Resolve's opening statement has come out.
Beautiful challenge on the side ball. Surprised that Misfits didn't have anyone back. A bit unfortunate there. It was a great challenge. Nice follow-up from Williams Resolve. You have to be happy always when you're 15 seconds in and you have a goal.
Yeah, I wouldn't look too comfortable, though, unless you could get another one, and they will. Steven is on one.
Yeah. I heard Crimson here. She was like, I'm thinking, Steven, I'm bumping for you. You got this. Tucks it right in. And Misfits, unfortunately, 2 kickoffs under pressure. Find themselves down early, but Herc, I like to say that 2-0 early on Rocket League is the most dangerous lead you can have. You don't want to get too comfortable.
Exactly. It can set up a team to be made or broken. That was not the proper English in that sentence, but
we know what you mean.
Y'all know what I mean. It can make or break you having that early of a lead, because overconfidence is easily the quickest way to fail, especially in Rocket League, right? 5 minutes is nothing in this game.
Yeah, and overcommitting is so easy. That's why every decision you make has to be focused on and controlled so that you don't end up as that out-positioned player letting your team down.
This ball is going to find itself in the Williams Resolve half. It's Misfits Gaming wanting to set each other up for success. There was an attempt at a pass over to Angie. It went wide. Ducks with a clear. Talibird wants to keep it going, though. Steven intercepts this ball. That is not the most bestest touch I think they could have done right there. The fake, though, might open up the opportunity for Williams to go 3-0, but they don't find it.
Not yet. Steven back into the Misfits half. Ravina's racing, trying to catch it. Ravina has a nice challenge off the ceiling. Angie trying to go for that dribble. Smart play as Ducks intercepts, but it still retains possession for her team.
This ball, it's rolling out. Steven already ready to challenge it. She's gonna take her time. 1 touch, 2, can't get past Angie. But she keeps it going. Talibird aware that she needs to get past this Misfits Gaming, roster. They were playing so dangerously close together that all it took was one medium, not even a long touch, for this ball to find its way into the net.
Yeah, absolutely. They had to have been confident on the sidewall there that the win was coming. The third woman was cheating up, and she was trying to get there, but unfortunately these challenges from Williams Resolve are going into the net. You got to get your car in between the ball and the net, make sure that doesn't keep happening.
Exactly. I think Misfits Gaming tried to play the big space out gaming, and it worked a little bit, and now they're playing a little bit closer together, and you can see that Williams Resolve is just taking every opportunity that gets handed to them at this point, and it's making Misfits a little nervous. This ball's gonna find its way on in. Hopefully that's a confidence regain there as Ravina goes from one end of the field to the other and brings Misfits up to 1.
Beautiful flip on the sidewall there to be able to not only land on the wall, but follow it up and get the shot off on target with enough pace to beat the defender. Beautiful play from Ravina, and it's in a time where her team needed it.
Exactly. I think they needed a little pick-me-up in this moment. There's enough time, just over half the game left, but you can't give away any more goals to Williams Resolve if you're Misfits Gaming. Pinch off the sidewall from Crimson. Slow rolls itself down to the corner. Steven's got another attempt at a shot. You can see Misfits is doing a little better rotationally defending these shots as time is going on, but they're still stuck in their own half.
Absolutely, but when Tally's doing things like that, can get you out of defense rather quickly as Angie trying to make a challenge here. It's not in, but it's going to put Ravina in a tough spot. It's a great clear, but unfortunately too far for Tally, and Williams Resolve are trying to kickstart their offense yet again.
Look at it, all 3 players. It's going to be Talibird that breaks out, though. Ducks, she's going to collect that boost, and it's enough that if she can put this ball up high, she can carry it wherever she wants it to go. 1 minute and 43 seconds left. Williams Resolve still up by 2. It's going to be Angie off the ceiling, taking her time, trying to get a challenge. This ball ends up going back towards the midfield. A bump from Crimson opens up the opportunity for Ducks to try and take a shot of her own, and it's just Williams Resolve complete aggression. It's not as much as we saw in game number 1, but it's enough to be holding Misfits back.
At midfield dominance. They're just so good at circling those mid boosts, and I don't want to say, you know, the EU play style and starting the UNA debate already, but you know, Europe is very, very good at that midfield control. It's very tough to break when you have as talented players as Williams Resolve has. Off the ceiling, Ravina in a great position to shut it down.
Everyone from Williams just taking turns, one shot after the other. A minute left. Maybe this could be what Misfits Gaming was hoping for. Ravina unable to make connection with this ball. A pass, no connection made, could actually leave a wide open net. 1, 2, into the back. Williams Resolve goes to 4.
1, 2, skip to my Lou. Williams Resolve. Oh, I wish this was game 2. They're gonna take game 3.
I was gonna do the teammates 1, 2, 2 to Lou.
I'm not Daz.
We're gonna
but you know.
This is off touch.
Misfits trying to just scrape their way back into this one as 30 seconds tick down. And if you're Misfits, I think you start to wonder here, what are we gonna do? We tried to keep the ball close. It wasn't working. Their challenges came in, and I think what you want to do is try and use Williams Resolve challenges against them. Instead of trying to beat the player with the ball, try and just slow down, allow that defender to come at you, 50 her, and try and work off that carom or bounce of where the ball goes instead of trying to force something. As a nice challenge from Angie here. Puts the second goal in. Angie has been on fire so far this series. For Misfits, she's really been stepping up.
She really and truly has. I love seeing that she's got confidence coming into this LAN here, and especially this series. Misfits Gaming closed the gap in half, but 9 seconds. It is theoretically possible, but they would have to have scored right now, and precious seconds get wasted, and this one goes down. It's gonna hit the ground eventually at one point. There it is. Williams Resolve have found themselves another win in the series. This could get dangerous for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. That pivotal game 4 coming up. You don't want to allow Williams Resolve to take that scary 3-1 series lead. And now as we see Williams Resolve again, even though they have the win, they're over there getting some coaching, reviewing the game, knowing what they could do better, as you should. And on the other side here, of course, we're taking a look at Misfits. It's great to see the players talking it out, finding what their issues are themselves, as well as, I'm sure, clowns in their ear, giving them some coaching advice too. But look at Tally leading her team, as you know, I think she should. She's got so much experience. She's been around the competitive scene for so long. She's a pro. She's been here, and it's her time to shine. And I'm looking for her this game 3. I really want her to step it up. And sorry, game 4.
Yeah, no, game 4. But I'm in the same boat as you. Honestly, we've watched Tally. I think I've been watching her for almost 2 years now, and the capability for this woman to absolutely, like, we are not joking, pop off. This girl could 1v3 Williams Resolve on a peak day. We're all really just waiting for it to sort of unlock. And again, whether that is nerves or something, we got to wait and see if she's going to be able to bring that level of gameplay out, or do her teammates need to arise to the occasion to kind of set her up for success so that way they can all be successful. But game number 4 is underway, and beginning with this ball headed towards the Misfits Gaming net, as we've seen time and time again.
That's right, we are back in the orange half. Angie nicely defends there with 0 boost. Ducks, almost got that double touch in, but this is what you need if you're Misfits. Look at Ravina. She's stapled to the ball, not allowing Williams Resolve to get a touch on it. Now this is where you need to try and follow that up with the same thing. Angie, beautiful display.
There's so many bumps coming out from Williams Resolve. Everybody, ooh, this could be dangerous. This is gonna slow roll down. The shot from Ducks denied by Angie. It's gonna be Ravina taking her time. Nice flick there. Can she recollect it? No, but this one goes up. Steven's gonna meet it. Little redirect back towards the midfield, followed up by Ducks. No connection, she leaves it for Crimson. This one goes crossbar and out, just a little too high. But that is a play that could set you apart from an amazing team like Misfits.
Absolutely, Williams Resolve, beautiful team plays all series long. They utilize each other so well. It's really nice to see. Remember that save heard from Angie earlier. Williams Resolve could have been up 1-0, 30 seconds into the game. It's still tied in this huge swing game as Misfits try and prevent a goal here.
Exactly. Misfits, you can definitely tell there's been a little tweaks to the defense, making sure people aren't so close together. Zoning's got a little bit better. Tallybird's going to pop this up off of her car. This one's going to go up high. Seaman up next. Everyone just really, truly taking their time, waiting to see who's going to be the first person to take control of this ball. Every time a Misfits gaming player pops it anywhere, it is always met with a Williams Resolve defender.
Or a bump. It seems like Williams Resolve are just, they're going at you. They're, listen, we're going to bump, we're going to make it obvious, and you're going to have to adjust. And it's difficult, and it can even be frustrating as a player because it feels disrespectful for some reason to just have the other team say, we're not going to actually play the ball. We're just going to hit you out of the way. What do you mean?
That's when you start playing mindset games. Gen.G with the goal line save. You know, 2 times is not the charm. This one doesn't find its way in. Steven turns her car just in time to make sure Angie's shot doesn't turn into a proper threat. And as we count down, half the game is left and nobody has scored.
Angie is putting on an absolute defensive clinic right now. She looks like Gianluigi Buffon in that she's saving everything. It's insane as Ravina off the sidewall. This is a dangerous position for Misfits, unable to find the touch. Tally tries to control over 1. Can she get past 2? She cannot as the teamwork puts the ball mid for Williams Resolve, and we're going to go the other way.
Oh, the low boost actually, if she had had any of it, that actually could have turned into a shot towards an open net. Ducks able to get past 1. Gonna take her time. She sees Angie. Crimson's already going for the pre-bump. Doesn't find it, but I mean, I'd be stressing.
The pre-bump.
The pre-bump.
Yeah, it's Williams are just putting on so much pressure. Not only is one of the players coming at you, but in front of them is another one trying to get you out of the way.
Yeah, it's really and truly just incredible how consistent Williams Resolve pressure has been in this series. They literally do not let up on Misfits. And I think they came into this knowing that they couldn't, right? The second you give Misfits any space, like we saw in game number 2, that was the time that Misfits was able to run away with things and get a win for themselves. So Williams Resolve knows that, yes, it could be annoying, it could be rude to be bumping them and being in their faces, but that is truly the best way to hold Misfits back.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The individual talent on both of these teams, it's very difficult to give up space as Tally almost finds the full field redirect. Angie coming in to try and clean up, but turned aside for now as Tally keeps pressure. Can she drop him in? She can't. Angie gets denied by Crimson, and we have to reset.
Look at this. It is one shot after the other on both ends. Ducks is up next. Angie, who else would have saved it at this point, right? It's just Angie's everywhere, and if she's anywhere, it's the defensive line ready to make sure nothing goes in.
She's Wonder Woman back there. An absolute brick wall as a cross tries to go across, and Ducks reads it perfectly on the far side and puts Williams Resolve up 1.
The brick wall had a crack in it. I don't know, I don't want to be the person that said she was looking at the boost, but I think she was looking at the boost.
We jinxed her. Unfortunately, Ravina, she was trying to get that power across to the corner to Angie. Unfortunately, the power wasn't there, but right idea. Just an unfortunate result.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but 18 seconds left. Maybe Misfits Gaming can find a last-second goal. One player is completely pushed up, but the challenge denies the shot. 10 seconds left to go. Crimson taking her time, bringing this one all the way down. A touch there from Ravina. A pass, no connection. Precious seconds are being wasted. This one's up in the air, though, Steven. You know she wants to drop it. Woo! Or just score 1 for the road home. The 0-second goal for Williams Resolve to go 2-0 in, I believe, match point.
I mean, Steven put that on a silver platter. Crimson, wide open net. Beautiful ending to the game. But if you're Misfits, Herc, you can't be too upset. You had the chances that game. They didn't fall. It's okay. There's still games remaining, but you have to be happy with the offensive opportunities you had that game because of how strapped on the defensive side you've been from that Williams Resolve pressure all series. So now, for me, if you're Misfits, it's just about getting that finishing touch.
Exactly, and the finishing touch would realistically be it would be Talibird or Ravina popping off. We need to have that really offensive ones Ravina coming out, and then we gotta have the crazy solo play, freestyler-ish Ravina coming on in as well. There's like 2 versions to everybody that you could get, and then right now we're getting defensive Angie, and it's working. It's giving them the time to try and score. They're just not able to, like you said, really just finish out, close out. You just need one.
I need to know what Angie had for breakfast this morning because I need to play defense that good. She's making it look easy out there. She's diving across last second, dropping of her teammate. She's coming off the ceiling of the net, putting it to midfield. I mean, she's doing phenomenal on defense right now. It's really great to see, but Williams Resolve's offense is just, it's too strong to hold out right now, unfortunately.
I won't make the statement they're just better because realistically this could have been a coin flip kind of game. And if anybody is capable of a reverse sweep, I would call out that it's Misfits. I just need to see it. Angie has already made such significant amount of change from game 1 to now game 5 on the defensive front to make sure that Misfits has the opportunity to score. Now we just got to see what they do when they do have the opportunity in the Williams Resolve half.
Ravina, flip reset, left side. Angie can't find it in, but it's going to fall to Tally. This is great. Misfits pressure to start off game 5 as it gets across. Ravina tucks it away, almost gets it in, but ducks off the goal line, just keeping it out.
That is so unfortunate. That was like 90% of the way in. You gotta make sure those go in. Give every shot with every last bit of boost you got. And let's try it again. Here comes Ravina all the way towards the corner. Nobody goes with it, but there's nobody to follow up except when Steven misses. It's Angie with a challenge. Steven with a shot. It's wide. Maybe a second one will find its way. Ravina denies.
And on that offensive opportunity, Misfits need to be a little bit faster to the ball to follow each other up. The chances are there. They can just find the accuracy. As Steven nicely flicked over by Angie. Gonna drop a 50 down as well. Tally trying to pop it to Ravina, but the boost situation not in their favor as it goes off back while Tally with an open net and she scores! And Misfits take the lead in game 5.
That is the Talibird we were all waiting to see. Look at her already up, ready to make sure this ball went into that net. Misfits Gaming have found their first lead in this game number 5. Can they hold on to it?
I mean, I think so. They look different right now. The shot comes flying in off kickoff. Unable to make a target work, but ducks. Nice redirect on low boost. Ravina nicely collects it. Classic Ravina 50. Beats one player. Gonna try and find it mid for a teammate. As it, again, Williams Resolve. This midfield control was there. So you can't find the net. Angie, beautiful fake to try and slow it down, but chance goes aside for Misfits there.
Every opportunity you have to score, you have to take it. That should have gone in. But for the time being, Misfits Gaming can hold on to their 1-goal lead. Maybe Talibird can turn it into 2. Steven turns this into a counterattack. Pass over to Ducks, a slow shot towards that net, gets collected by Angie, and Steven takes it back. And it's tug-of-war for this ball right now.
Tally's doing such a great job as the trail defender to break up plays on the orange net there right before it becomes dangerous. Crimson can't find the double touch to a teammate, but the play goes wayward and ends up in front of net. Misfits scrambling to keep it out. The ball pops up. Tally, can she make it there off the back wall? She can, trying to find Ravina on the right, but unable to connect. And once again, Williams Resolve coming in from that midfield. Saved aside by Ravina, another shot. It gets turned aside as well. And whew, so many chances going back and forth right now.
Misfits Gaming is turning into a red brick wall in front of that net right now. Williams Resolve unable to break through. And that's what you want if you're a Misfits fan. Here's a setup for a shot. Crimson not fast enough to beat out Ravina. Maybe another one. Denied by Angie. Sends it midfield.
Beautiful challenge.
She's going to follow it up. Nice flick. Crimson pops it up high for Ducks. She's going to take it to the ceiling. Enough boost to maybe reset this one towards it. Doesn't make reconnection. But oh my gosh, are Williams Resolve realizing that they need to get in their face and they need to find something quick.
Yeah, but Misfits defense right now, the reliability that they have on each other is truly showing because they're on defense seemingly the entire game. but nothing insanely dangerous has happened for them yet. And that's really difficult when you're stuck on your defensive half a majority of the game to keep your composure. And now they're on offense. See if they can give themselves a second goal here.
Small analytical hot take, but I feel like Misfits Gaming is smart enough to say, let Williams Resolve take all the shots they want. Let's just defend them and hold on to our 1-goal lead.
Yeah, that absolutely seems like the game plan for them. It's a dangerous game plan, but when you have Angie in net with Ravina and Tally going alongside, it's going to be really difficult to score when they're playing this well and this cohesive as a unit.
Exactly, and I feel like that almost is a little bit of the game plan right now. Misfits are only taking opportunities past the midfield line when they know it's safe, when they know it's not a risk for a long clear to get sent all the way back home. 30 seconds remain in this game. Number 5, Williams Resolve. They need 1 point to tie up the game, 2 to claim the dub, and Misfits Gaming, they're on the long journey to reverse sweep Williams Resolve here.
Ooh, Tally, let's see it, girl. Almost gets a flip reset. That's a beautiful challenge from Ducks. 8 seconds left. Can Angie stave them off one more time? She does. 3 seconds down. It's going towards the net. Ravina dangerously across, but she had control. No worries as the ball stays up. Tally trying to keep it alive, and she does. Misfits kill and take game 5.
I wish I had a heart rate monitor. There was no reason for that ball to have been dribbled that close to the net. And you can see it on their faces. They had their moment of happiness, and now everybody's ready to lock in. They know that this is very possible. I said it at the beginning. If there is a team that has the capability of reverse sweeping another #1 seed, it is Misfits Gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, keep in mind, this is a new roster for Misfits Gaming. Ravina only joined maybe 2 months ago. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact date on that. But, you know, she's also coming from Europe. She's the only player on her team to be from Europe, whereas all 3 of these Williams Resolve players are all 3 European players. So Ravina is coming in as a new team, and they definitely have that potential. For me, it's always, is the communication there? Can they work as a unit? Because that's what you have to do to upset a team as good as Williams Resolve is.
Exactly. I think the fact that Ravina was able to come out here, get placed on the same amount of ping as her teammates, it should be a moment where all of her potential could be unlocked, or should be unlocked, right? This is the time for it to happen. You have nothing holding you back, and it makes me nervous. And I kind of want to ask her, I'm like, is it almost easier for you to play on ping at this point? Do you want a different server? Will that make you feel better?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it definitely can. That's why it's nice seeing how well she's been adjusting this series. As a shot comes in, maybe an open net. No, Angie, of course, ready. Doesn't make contact, but she was there if it was on target.
There it is. The passing plays for Misfits have begun. Communication is high. Angie, even this one, she's got eyes on the prize. They want that ball. Ducks taking her time. She's going to get met up in the air by Tallybird. Slow pinch to center, but no follow-up.
Misfits, or Ravina, putting on display what I was saying earlier about letting the other team come to you and utilizing their momentum against them, especially in those corners. When you go in for challenges, it can careem off the side of the wall, end up going nowhere dangerous. So Misfits are happy to allow touches in the corner. It shouldn't be scary.
Tallybird, she's taking her time. You can see the bump opening up the opportunity. She's got another bump onto Crimson, and there's nothing you can do to stop her unless you're Angie. She's coming out from behind. She takes a shot. Misfits Gaming have found their first leading goal.
Angie, I'm running out of superhero names to describe you. Beautiful shot, nicely finished down, crossbar. You gotta love it. Misfits look to be in total control right now. Williams Resolve is really struggling for offense, and that last Misfits game has my mind kind of wondering, what are Williams Resolve gonna do to adjust here?
The interesting thing is in the previous game, this is an open net! That's an open net for Tallybird! And you know what else is open? That circle next to Williams Resolve's name, 2-0 in game number 6.
Absolutely, Misfits in total control right now. Look at the smiles on their faces. They're trying to keep composed. There's still 4 minutes left.
There's a long time, girl.
We've already talked about the 2-0 lead being scary as Ravina looks like she's found her form. And Tally trying to hold it together nicely with those low boosts in the midfield. It's really hard to work well off of low boosts as Tally is doing such a great job of it. Great to be there in transition, but can't find the shot.
And going back to that 2-0 confidence, make or break kind of statement, you talked about it and you said that the 2-0 could make you overconfident. The other thing that people don't really talk about a lot is when you're sitting on match point. When you're up, 3-1 against a team, it could make you overconfident. It can make you do things that you weren't doing in the previous 3 matches. And I feel like Williams Resolve, they're not playing the same play style we saw them play before, which is why Misfits has had so many more opportunities to score, so many more opportunities that they can just capitalize on mistakes. And this is one of the few times we've seen Williams Resolve kind of have a glimpse of what they were doing at the beginning of the series. But it's just not the same. Look at it, 2 players pushed up, almost a near double commit.
Yeah, Misfits are just sitting back and allowing Williams Resolve to come to them. They're saying, listen, you know what? We know you like the team play. We know you like to control the ball. You're going to have to individually beat us one at a time to get through to our net because we have the team defense locked down, and they've been playing team defense the entire series. And now when you're 6 games in, it just becomes second nature at that point.
Exactly. And now on the other end of thing, on the flip side of things, on Misfits Gaming, defense is getting a little shaky. There's been times where I'm seeing shadow play where there doesn't need to be. You don't need to really be backing up that closely. Maybe if people are missing like this, it's not as dangerous to be doing so. But just under 2 minutes to go, Misfits Gaming holding on to their 2-0 lead, looking to take us to Game 7. They want to go the full distance, and we're going to find out if that's possible.
2 minutes remaining. This is where you start to wonder, when are we going to send it here? When are we going to commit hard forward for a goal as it comes across the Ducks? But 3 Misfits players there, not allowing that chance to go through. And Misfits just keep putting on beautiful team play. Display one thing, Herc, we're missing that we saw earlier in the series from Williams Resolve is those bumps.
Yeah, they're gone almost. And I think in partial reasoning to that is Misfits are absolutely controlling the boost on the field. They have full-blown control of every 100 boost pad on this field, which is leaving Williams Resolve scrambling to be able to keep up. And if they take that ball into the air, you can tell almost, 7 times out of 10, they can't even reach the threshold of how high they're taking this ball.
That's absolutely right. With it, you need the boost to get supersonic so you can demo. As a miscommunication comes out, and Tally is going to secure a 3rd goal for Misfits, and it looks like we might be heading to a Game 7 and full momentum in Misfits' favor.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first on LAN game. I'm so used to online. This is the first on LAN game for women in Rocket League, and we might be headed all the way to Champions Field in the next 37 seconds. A challenge gets denied by Angie. She gets a demo, keeps Williams Resolve back. 30 seconds are left.
Williams Resolve trying to muster their offensive control that they had virtually all series long. Misfits have slammed the door shut for the last, after this one, 3 games, barely even allowing any dangerous opportunities. As the clock ticks down, Herc, heading into Game 7. I'm scared. I don't know what to expect. And Williams Resolve has all this pressure on them. They're 36-0 as a team since October. 36-0. It's 30-something and 0.
Well,
and now it's in jeopardy. That's Game 7. Misfits are coming. They have all the momentum. They've won the last 3 games. You are in a tough spot. Are they going to show up?
We don't know. We're going to find out. I'm trying to sit here like, are there timeouts? Can somebody take a break? Can people get some water and talk about this one? This is the most wild way to open up this LAN here between these 2 teams. I honestly would not have expected anything less. I think in private conversations I was saying I think actually this could go Game 7 because I kind of predicted Misfits to have first LAN jitters.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you have a European player coming over.
Yep.
You know, Ravina's adjusting to that ping, and the longer the series goes on, the more and more comfortable that they're going to be. So I think, you know, on the Misfit side of things, you have to be confident going into this Game 7, continue the pressure that you've been applying, and, you know, be aware, though, that Williams Resolve is probably going to try and bring those demos back. They're probably going to try and focus on that boost control and not allow Misfits to kind of just take their back boost, sit on the back and be like, okay, Williams Resolve, you come to me. We're not scared of your plays. We can defend you when we have boosts.
Exactly. I think Williams Resolve is absolutely aware that this is it. Winner moves on. Whoever's defeated, you're going home after this one. This is end all, be all. All the pressure is on the line, which means I'm expecting nothing less from Ravina to open up the game with a lead for Misfits Gaming.
She might be from Europe, but she's here, baby, rising up, tucked it underneath the crossbar. And now, Misfits, the killer 1-goal lead with all the momentum. This is where Williams was up. You have to dig deep. You have to stick to your game plan that you talked about pregame. Let everything else go and focus solely on the next 4 minutes, 38 seconds.
Exactly. They need to listen to themselves, right? In the video that we saw at the beginning of the stream, Williams Resolve, Steven in particular, came in saying, you can't let the pressure get to you. You come into this like it is any other day, in the office, on the field. There shouldn't be this immense pressure. You can think about that later, but this is not the time to do so. 4:16 left to go.
There we go.
A shot could tie things up as Ducks puts this one into the net, and Williams Resolve have evened up the field.
Yeah, nice midfield play from Steven, and notice what happened there, Herc. Demo on the back line opens up the net, and Ducks, of course, stepping up when her team needs her most.
There we have it. We see Williams Resolve game plan. We see the wheels turning in their cars and in their brains. They know that aggression is the only way to fight Misfits Gaming, especially when they are on, not peak, because this is not peak by any means, but when they are just absolutely on it, ready to win, have all the momentum. But Misfits Gaming, in turn, they're giving it back to them.
Yeah, it's really tough when you're so dominant as a team. You're coming into your first LAN, and immediately off the bat, you're being put in a high-pressure situation. Game 7, all that on your shoulders, and so far, other than the first kickoff, I think Williams Resolve has steadied the ship. They look a lot more stable so far as Angie has some space in transition, but she's denied for now.
I absolutely agree. I think Williams Resolve is doing a great job of trying to control the pace of this game. They know that they need to, right? The second you give it to Misfits Gaming and they become in control, they are absolutely running away with it at that point. Calibert's gonna keep this one kind of close. Actually, she ends up putting it in no woman's land. And Steven tries to take a shot of her own.
It's Crimson again. That midfield control. Tally's ready though. She's on top of it. Ducks beats out a Misfits player. That's gonna leave Tally in a 3-on-1 situation. Unfortunately for her, defends it well, and now Angie has a little bit of space. Shut down from Crimson off camera. Ducks comes flying in, and Misfits continue to hold the fort.
This is the most high-pressure, intense game. There's Ravina absolutely battling for her life in the net to turn that into an open net, and somehow these saves still came out from Williams Resolve.
And every now and then I peek down at the player cams just to see how they're reacting, if they're leaning into their hits. Angie, opportunity in front. Ravina, she's going to stay there. She's going to collect. The pinch goes up. That's going to be an awkward bounce. Nicely read by Steven, but it gets dunked back towards the net. Ducks unable to make contact, but that should give her team just enough time. Can she find the redirect? No. And it gets turned away. Oh my God.
Realistically, this is almost anyone's game. Incredible save there from Ravina to keep her team alive. Crimson is up next on the attack. There's Ducks beating this ball up in the air. Nobody to follow up that touch though. That could be dangerous. It's a repeat though. Here's a nice clear out into the midfield. Demo on a Talibird keeps her in her own half. Ducks is up next on the rotation to keep on fighting. Steven, shot, she wants to set up Crimson, but the defense is too strong.
Misfits trying to get into the offense bench. Andy, beautiful control. As it gets popped high up into the air, Ravina. Nice drop down to Angie. Can she find the shot? And Misfits go up 2-1 with 1:31 to go.
If there was anybody to have the time to pop off and do something clutch for their team. Who else would it be than the clutch maker, Angie, who has been nothing but a defensive monster for Misfits Gaming today, finding a goal of her own to give her team the lead 90 seconds before Misfits Gaming can send Williams Resolve home. But that is plenty of time for a play to come out, and this one dangerously goes up towards that upper 90.
Hallie, great job being able to get past the defender there on such low boost. Now this Williams Resolve is going to start to creep ever more forward as the clock ticks down. Steven, great shot, met by Tally to the side. And Williams Resolve trying to get anything in front with some space.
1 minute before Misfits Gaming can say that they are the first team to ever claim a win on LAN in the Women's League of the Rocket League scene. Double demo opens up the opportunity though for Williams Resolve to try and challenge that, take a shot of their own.
Woo! Tally holding down the fort for now, leaves it for Ravina. The Crimson ready to attack, starts it up for Williams Resolve. Off the back wall, a beautiful clear, a little bit of a miscommunication. Can Tally win the race? She can! And Misfits have a 2-goal lead with 30 seconds left in Game 7.
If there is a player who has put nothing short of thousands of hours into making sure that she will win every opportunity she is given, it is her. Misfits Gaming are doing what felt like almost the impossible. They are reverse sweeping Williams Resolve on LAN in Dallas, Texas at Dreamhack here in person. 15 seconds left to go. Williams Resolve, they're trying to find something. They're doing the best that they absolutely can, but as time winds down, 5 seconds to go. Misfits Gaming will be the first women's team to ever win a game on LAN.
Woo! Congratulations to Misfits. They're moving on to the grand finals with an absolute beautiful display on defense. You cannot play that good defensively without the trust and communication in your team. And I'm sorry if I'm misspeaking, but I believe that that's Williams Resolve's first loss as a team. So I just want to say Williams Resolve has been tremendous for the women's scene thus far. They have an incredible resume. They're 100% going to be back, and just thank them for their gameplay. But right now, it's all about Misfits. And for me, Taco, it's all about Angie.
It is really about Angie, but honestly, it takes a team to take down what some have called one of the most dominant we've ever seen in the women's scene, or really if you compare it to any semblance of Rocket League, RLCS or otherwise. That is a brutal result from Williams Resolve, something they are not familiar with in that emotional state, but credit to Misfits. It looked rocky, but at the end of the day, it's a binary outcome. If you pull off the victory, then you can just enjoy the spoils. They will, in fact, be our grand finalists, and I gotta say, I was losing it off camera. You guys were going ham on the mics, and I was just jumping up and down. I could not believe my eyes. This is a historic LAN, so why not have a historic moment like that?
Yeah, it's just, you know, I feel for Williams Resolve a little bit. When you come in with that much pressure, you're up 3-1, and the other team starts to get all the momentum, you know, those thoughts start to creep into your head. But for Misfits to be able, in this environment, to be comfortable enough to pull off that level of defense that requires that level of communication, it's just really, really impressive.
It's beyond impressive. Williams Resolve, again, it's like you said, this is the first loss in 36 series that they've ever played. That is an incredible thing to even be able to say about a team. And realistically, at some point you have to lose, right? And
yeah,
I think if there was a team that earned the win, or that they realistically would have almost earned the loss, right? That was the most fair game of Rocket League I could have ever hoped to have casted or watched ever.
I think the most brutal thing about games like that is when you really do get into it. I think you put it very perfectly in that you start to lose a game and you're saying, okay, well, we're up in the series, it's fine. But then you lose another one, and then it really starts to almost say, when people say, well, reverse sweeps, you have to go so far, I feel like the damage almost is done before you actually tie up the series, because you do start to doubt yourself. So obviously, the crowd was loving it. They were having a lot of fun here.
Oh, let's get a selfie.
Be able to get
Everyone get in.
Everybody get
Everyone
in.
get in.
Everyone behind them. I need them to get into that selfie.
Woo! Looking good, ladies. Looking good.
as always. We talk about the women in Rocket League, obviously, on the field, but also just the women here at the event being able to cheer on all of their compatriots. Always lovely to see. And yes, Dallas, so nice of you guys to come on out and watch this all unfold. But certainly so, beyond that, credit to Misfits yet again. We're trying to track down, I believe, Ravina to be able to talk to her, be able to pick her brain just to see what's going to be really going down here, because certainly when we do look at this lovely stage, there is a lot going through their minds, so obviously we want to hear as much as possible from them. But Hark, before we get into that, I mean, any closing thoughts here, and what would you like to say to Williams Resolve on the way out here?
I think that they should still be so proud of what they put out on the field today. They are arguably one of the best teams in the entire world for women in Rocket League, and they should not be disappointed with the performance that they gave. This is just the beginning for the women's Rocket League scene. In the future, we're all hoping for more than what is the beginning, right? This is just the start.
Congratulations, let's go.
So this is massive, but I think it is time. We've got probably the most incredible interview about to come up. Welcome to the desk, Ravina.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Everybody give it up for her. We want to hear you cheering her on.
How are you feeling?
Icy. Feeling icy.
Icy, okay, okay.
Warmed up.
So what, I have to know, what is going through you guys, your communications as a team when you're down 3-1, Williams Resolve is putting you totally on the defensive half, and then all of a sudden you're like, just switched it up and they couldn't score, really?
Well, with the help of our coach, we had a lot of direction. So we were being told, you know, this is where the goals are coming from, this is what you need to do, and this is what you can do to essentially reverse sweep, which we did in a way. And on top of that, it's just sometimes in Rocket League, especially in stressful situations, you just have to let your intuition carry you. And I think when I'm feeling it, and I'm feeling that intuition, I can be a good player.
Of course you can. Are you kidding me?
And I realized in the corners we were getting beaten, and so I don't know, I stepped up. Before I came into the corner, I was doing my best. You know, that ball was my baby. I was not letting it go. But yeah, I don't know. My teammates are awesome, and we had great mentally when we were losing. I hope that was evident.
No, it was beyond evident. I've been watching you guys for so long and watching you step in. I got heat for saying that I didn't think this was a bad roster move at all. I never questioned it from the start. I thought you fit in seamlessly, and for you to fit in this seamlessly on LAN and to do it in a reverse sweep for your very first time out here is so commemorative, and we are all so happy for you and so proud of you and your teammates.
Thank you so much.
I cannot wait to watch you in the grand finals.
Thank you.
And of course, I do want to touch on this in that saying, yes, we want to make sure you have time to mentally reset, be able to watch the series, see who you're going to play against. But first off, I want to say you have the mic, you're on stage after such a nice, icy win, as you put it yourself.
Yeah.
Is there any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to my lovely community. I'm a full-time streamer, twitch.tv/Ravina. And shout out to them. They've been so supportive of me all this time. Shout out to my dad and sister. I know they'll be watching. They only recently found out that I started playing Rocket League. Well, that I streamed and played it. So probably a big surprise for them to see me on screen. And just shout out to everyone who's behind this. I think women getting involved in Rocket League is amazing. It's so good. I've been playing the game for 7 years now. 8 years, 2023, and just seeing the women's scene develop over time has been amazing. And I'm just so thankful to everyone who's made that possible, and just thank you to everyone. And if you're watching, if you're a viewer, you're a part of that. You're making that viable for us, and I'm so appreciative. You've given me life, you've given us a purpose, and we can never repay that, really. So thank you.
Well, maybe you can repay it with some prize pool money, because at the very least, you could be taking
gosh,
home a decent amount. You have made it into the grand finals, but to find out who is going to be playing Misfits Gaming, we got to go to a break and then bring it back with our second semifinal of the Rocket Clash. It is going to be Endpoint CEX UV versus Gen.G Mobile One Racing Black. Do not go anywhere. Dreamhack Dallas' Rocket Clash, brought to you by Ally. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Dreamhack Dallas's Rocket Clash, $20,000 Women's Rocket League tournament here, live on the main stage. And if you guys are walking around wondering, what is this? Stop walking, take a seat, and really behold the wonder of this tournament. We're going to take a look at the bracket because we're already a third done. One of the semifinals has been completed, and Herc, we have seen quite the historic game there in that top semi.
Yep, this was our opening match for the very first ever women's LAN event in Rocket League. Williams Resolve ultimately getting reverse swept by the #1 North American team, Misfits Gaming. And, well, they've officially secured themselves a spot in the grand finals. Unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to Williams Resolve. But at the end of the day, this is incredible Rocket League, and I cannot wait to find out who is going to meet Misfits in the grand.
And in order to find that out, we have to then kind of talk about this next matchup coming up. It is Endpoint CEX UV up against Gen.G Mobile 1 Racing Black. And Karma, this is difficult. Endpoint is now Europe's final hope. Granted, there's only 2 teams to begin with, but first one's an upset, and I would say coming into this one, who do you, I feel, lean toward in this one? Because right now I feel like everything's up in the air.
Well, first I was leaning towards Europe, and now I think at this matchup I have to lean towards my NA girls just because, you know, I've seen them kick our butts. I've had a privy to it in scrims, you know, in matches, and I think Gen.G is really going to come in hot in this one. It's going to be tough for Endpoint, but they can do it.
Absolutely, and so therefore we should meet some of these players. First up, let's take a look at Endpoint.
I've been playing competitively for about 2.5, 3 years now, but we haven't really had an opportunity to play on stage. Like, we've come close, but this is our first time, so yeah, I'm really excited.
It's going to be my second time playing on stage, I think, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Stage is pretty exciting for us. I think it's not something we really think about too much. It's my second time on stage. I think we just have to go out and enjoy it, enjoy the good parts. Like I said, we don't really get nervous, so it's just a case of go out there, enjoy it. It's an experience. You know, have a bit of fun, that's all.
But Slumpy is there to bring it back on the Williams Resolve half this one.
I don't think we have anything to lose, at all. I feel like just being here, just coming fourth, just being here is an achievement in itself for us. So we have absolutely nothing to lose. The other teams are under way more pressure than we are.
When we play confident, we 100% do better under pressure. We found that we tend to play better even if we're down by a couple games, so yeah.
So, of course, so nice to say hello to Endpoint. And it's nice to be able to hear from them. And they said it's just an accomplishment, Herc, just to be here. But obviously, getting here is one thing. Winning on LAN, getting those historic victories is a whole other thing. But I think one thing that really speaks to me about this team is that close bond as friends. They're hilarious on Twitter. My favorite team to follow, watching them banter with each other.
If you don't follow them on Twitter, you definitely should. They're hilarious. But I actually spoke to them last night. And I think one thing that really stuck out to me, I was talking to Slumpy, and she told me that in any position she was ever in, she would never choose any other teammates. She said these are her best friends, she loves them, and she could not be happier to be with them.
And so therefore, if we do look at this team, it's really going to carry through that friendship and that bond, because chemistry is so much of Rocket League. The other is knowing your opponents. Let's get to know their opponents for this next semifinal. It's Gen.G Mobile 1 Racing Black.
This tournament's important to me because it feels like the, top of all the work that I've been through. This is the one moment that we've all been waiting for.
I'm so excited. I've always wanted to have a moment to play on stage, and I'm just so excited to sit next to my teammates.
My strategy today is to win. There's no other way to put it.
Carolina allowing Courtney to regain some of that boost just behind the back line, and Courtney makes it happen.
I genuinely want it so bad. I've been addicted to this game, and I honestly don't think it'll ever end.
I have a lot of confidence in our team and the way we're going to play, so it would mean a lot to me to kind of feel that success.
I'd probably cry if I lift up that trophy. I'm not gonna lie, it'd be such an emotional experience, and I'm just ready to make it happen.
Apparently, the strategy is to just win. Karma, as a competitor, is she just so valid for that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the correct attitude to have. It's just come in here, give it your all, and, Gen.G, Kate was looking real good in those shades. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I was like, okay. And her family made a long drive down here, and she's been through a lot as a competitor, as well as Courtney and Bella. She's new to this roster, just like Ravina was to Misfits. So they've only been a new roster now for about 2 months. So I'm excited to see how Gen.G come out. I know that there's going to be a lot of confidence, and I'm excited to see them play.
Gen.G's an interesting team to watch because within Women's Carball, the kind of premier league there for Women's Rocket League, it's been fascinating because Gen.G has had multiple thirds, and yet they've been successful with pretty much all of them. Kate is now the permanent fixture, it seems like, and now that they're on LAN, they get to prove that it's not just a fluke. It's not just, oh, the first time luck. No. The chemistry is there, the friendship is there, and obviously the skill is. We mentioned how Misfits is number 2 in the seeding right next to Gen.G, but those two have been duking it out in the North American side of Women's Rocket League for so long, Herc.
No, they really and truly have, and that's why I can't wait to see everyone's predictions on this, because it isn't really a coin toss kind of game. I think it's one of those, it's either going to swing one or swing the other. There's not really an in-between for them.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the early part of this series is going to tell me, you know, which way that the momentum is going to swing, just because these openers on land and getting that, we saw it in the last series, it can get in your head, and even if you don't feel like the pressure's there, it can catch you. And I just want to see how these girls react after that first series. We've already had a best of 7, and the skill has been displayed, and I think we're going to follow it up here with another great series.
Yeah, and we're thinking it's a great series, but we also need to know what y'all think in the chat. Please, if you would like to vote for who you think is going to take this one away, type in hashtag END into the Twitch chat, or hashtag Gen.G for Endpoint and Gen.G respectively, and we'll be able to check in on what chat thinks and who is going to be the chat favorite coming away with us. I feel like it's a little bit difficult, though, because Gen.G obviously has a very successful RLCS team that people really do like, but I think, honestly, a lot of people also really do love Endpoint as well. So therefore, we'll have to see how much do we love these teams on the desk. Karma, we'll start over with you. Who do you have taken this next best of 7?
I love what Endpoint brings to the table, and I think that they're a threat to make it through to the grand finals. But on this, I have to go with my girls on Gen.G. I think they've been looking so good lately, and I'm expecting them to bring it on NA, on their home turf, and stand up to Endpoint.
All right, I'm in the same boat. I love the Endpoint girls more than anything, but Gen.G historically are just too strong, and they remind me of Misfits more than anyone. There is a team that wants that spot and is going to take that spot by any means. It's going to be them.
It's a dangerous thing as an analyst to try and use some type of transitive property of saying, well, Misfits beat Williams Resolve, and Williams Resolve was the favorite, but what team can beat Misfits? Gen.G is the team historically that can beat Misfits. I have them taking it this one. They're going to be facing off, producing pretty much an NA final on NA turf here at the Rocket Clash. And as we check in on what the Twitch chat is thinking about, it apparently is leaning pretty even, I would say, with a slight advantage going to Gen.G, Mobile One Racing Black. And I can't really say that's too surprising, but we don't really know how these teams match up. I think a lot of things, Karma, you might agree with this, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on, I think a lot of teams, when you look at them on paper, that's one thing, but sometimes play styles clash in kind of unique ways.
Yeah, you perfectly described that when you were talking about the Misfits Gen.G matchup. Historically, Gen.G has been able to pull that off. And in those matchups, it'll be interesting to see how Endpoint comes in. How are they going to play against the NA play style? Yes, they came in as that second seed in Europe, but I don't know how much experience they have playing against each other very often. So when you have the clash of European and NA, and then let alone the team play styles, it's a very interesting mix. Gen.G are just so mechanically competent. They can pull off crazy moves, and also the team plays are there. They have a tremendous team playing ability. And on the Endpoint side, I think for them it's just about getting a good start early, not letting yourselves get into a hole, and building that confidence on stage. Yes, you are the 2 seed. Yes, people have said that you are an underdog in this tournament, but this start can really lift your spirits and get you that momentum to make the upset like we just saw happen.
I mean, certainly, because when we do think about the number 1 and number 2 seeds, everyone's saying, well, I mean, yeah, there's only 4 teams. Obviously, it's going to be 1 and 2 from each region, but you're beating out a lot of teams to get here. And obviously, the depth has gotten way, way better over the season as more women have been able to come into the fray, join teams, get that scrim time in. So Endpoint getting here isn't just like, oh, they took the extra slot. Very much so earned. I really don't want to really have this narrative that, yes, the desk is thinking that it might go to Gen.G. The chat is leaning a little bit towards Gen.G. I think Endpoint's going to put up more than a fight, and even still, it's nice to see that the pressure of the situation doesn't seem to be getting to the ladies on stage. I like the dance moves. It's kind of hard to shake it while you're in a chair, but they're making it work.
Yeah. I don't know how much movement you can get in the hips when you're in that chair position. It's a little tough, but Courtney's showing she's got the strength there. She's got the movement.
I love the little Courtney shimmer. I want to see if she does it, if she like scores a goal or something. We'll do it with her. We'll be like, woo!
I need the step-by-step on that, and then beyond that, I need that introduced as like an emote within the future.
The
That would
Courtney
be-
Shimmer.
Yeah, exactly.
Courtney Shimmer.
That's exactly what you need to do. I mean, we talk a lot about warming up and saying, well, you got to get your scrim time in. You got to make sure you're in free play, getting warm. I think dancing is also pretty important. I don't know. You don't want to cramp up. Get yourself nice and limber. If your body's feeling good, then I'm sure your gameplay will as well. Granted, that's pure speculation. I don't really know what
It's a
actually
good
pulls
strat,
that
though.
one out.
Dancing is like the most embarrassing thing, kind of, in the setting. Like, if everyone's looking at you dance, you're like, oh. But if you're just out there dancing, having a good time, get all the nerves out, right? I mean, if you're dancing, you're obviously not nervous.
Yeah, you can't be
You
too
can't
nervous
be.
about that. But we'll just have to test that theory because it looks like we have our second semifinal all good. It's Endpoint from EU, their last hope for the continent versus Gen.G Mobile One Racing Black. Who is going to go to the grand finals against Misfits? We'll find out after this best of 7. Herc and Karma, it's all yours.
Welcome, everybody. We are back for our second semifinal. It is officially time for this game to get underway. We have made nothing less than history, and we're about to make even more here, Karma.
Yes, we are. We're going to find out who enters the grand finals of the first women's event in Rocket League LAN history. Stakara gets things started off from Endpoint in their own half. Herc. And already, Gen.G are putting on some pressure as a dangerous ball goes in front. And Courtney lights it up early. Gen.G up one.
Gen.G fans, I know you're out there. Be loud and be proud. Gen.G Mobile One Racing Black starting off strong here in game number 1. Nothing short of what anybody expected for them. But Endpoint, it's a very tiny game of catch-up, but it is not impossible. Courtney trying to break into this half to Kara with the clear, being met with a redirect from Alanis all the way towards the net and saved by Bella.
Bella, nice control there, able to find her teammate in the midfield, follows it up, but a beautiful save from Slumpy. Denied on the doorstep is Gen.G.
I need to know why Slumpy chose Merc today. Do you think it gave her just a little bit more edge? Like in her brain, she's like, hey, this will make sure nothing gets past me.
I did not realize what I was looking at because I was like, wait a minute, is someone really in a Merc right now?
That's just an oversized clinic. Your eyes are a little off.
I thought I, wasn't all here, but nope, that really is a Merc. And I love the attitude that brings. It's like, yeah, it's not my standard car, but the bump comes out. The Merc could not withstand the bump, and Bella tucks it in the far post left side. As Kate gets rid of that big Merc hitbox. Get out of our way. Get out of here.
Get out of here is what Gen.G is telling Endpoint so early on. Now, this is our second series of the day. If you're just now stopping in, it's a best of 7. Winner heads over to the grand finals and sends whoever is defeated home. And Gen.G are on their way. It's a long journey, just the beginning, but
no
it's
way.
starting off so strong. Courtney makes sure that Gen.G gets a 3rd goal, and a big old goose egg stays on that board for Endpoint.
Slumpy's probably like, Bella, what are you doing there? What? Ends up in her net. And Gen.G, everything going their way early. This is what you want when you're a confident team. You could hear the Gen.G players in their interviews. You saw Courtney dancing on stage. It's clear that they're confident. They love their team vibes, their environment. And when you come out hot like this, it's real tough for Endpoint to stop that momentum.
Exactly, but they're going to do their best. Takara doing her best to try and center that one towards the teammate. Nobody quite there. Courtney up next. She sees Kate. No connection gets made with this ball, and it was another incredible passing play showing, right? That's what Gen.G does best. They work together. They communicate so highly that whatever they want to do, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be accomplished.
And I believe adding Kate to this roster has had a lot of stability to the Gen.G play style. Kate is such a terrific 3rd woman in the back, able to keep things that are dangerous at bay and allow Courtney and Bella to freely just attack the offensive side.
I agree. You couldn't have said it any better. They really and truly, Gen.G is such a remarkable roster. They have stability, they've got confidence, and speaking of confidence, Courtney coming out with a double tap for Gen.G Mobile One Racing Black.
Oh my goodness, that is a beautiful air dribble, double touch. Defenders not knowing what to do, that amount of control. Courtney showing why she's so feared in the women's leagues. She has that control and she has that individual play that can jump out at any moment just like that.
And it is nothing but smiles for Gen.G. Even Bella, I'm just looking over at her player cam. She's playing while smiling nonstop. You can tell she is just having the best time. There she is in the net disrupting as Kate slaps another one in. 5-0.
Right now, Endpoint are struggling on the defensive half. A lot of touches are getting out of their control and teammates aren't able to follow it up. And Gen.G are just making Endpoint pay every single time a ball is left in the open field there. All 5 times it has ended up in the back of their net. And now if you're Endpoint with the remainder of this game, this is where I start talking to my teammates. What do we need to do to adjust? This game, we're going to throw it away. It's game 1. Let's talk about what we need to do to get ready for the next one.
Well, maybe it was communicated that demos, you just got to take this team off of the field. That is your best chance of coming towards this net. Takara taking 2 touches to try and get around that defensive line from Gen.G. A shot from Takara up off the backboard. Alanis with the angle, doesn't find her way in as Courtney keeps her out, not once, but twice.
Beautiful saves from Courtney. The shot rains in Alanis. Beautiful save as she tries to start the transition the other way. Kate there, Courtney off the ceiling, unable to make contact. And for now, Endpoint survive.
And that's really what it is. It's surviving at this point. The good thing is this is only game number 1 in a best of 7. There's a long way to go. We just watched a reverse sweep. There is so much Rocket League that is about to be played, but with a minute left, Gen.G wants it to go down in 4. You can tell they're hungry. Alanis pops this one up. Kate sends it on home. 50 seconds left.
I wonder if we'll see a car change out of Slumpy potentially next game. I don't know. Maybe the Merc is just that car for her. This is a ball careens into the middle. Alanis trying to go with the pinch. I like the idea. Unable to get the power that she needed. But Endpoint able to stave off Gen.G now for the last 2 minutes, 3 minutes or so. They've really stabilized. So heading into this next game, Herc, that's going to be a talking point. What were we doing defensively in the final minutes that was working for us?
Exactly. Seeing if they can make change in game number 2 is going to be pretty much the most important thing Endpoint needs to work on, right? If they can't adapt, if they cannot figure out what went wrong in game number 1, then this definitely could be a shutout.
Oh, Alanis trying to sneak one in there for a confidence builder. Unable to get it, but Gen.G, Mobile 1 Black coming out strong with the W. Courtney, is she gonna jump on the desk or is she just waving up and down?
I know she just wants everybody to yell as loud as possible. She can hear us. I know she wants to do her little dance shimmy thing too. Look, it's nothing but smiles from Gen.G, even when they're talking about whatever they need to do to improve, because at the end of the day, even when you're at the top, you're never perfect. There's always something you can do better, and it's a tough mindset to have and to understand, but Gen.G, they do great by having it.
Absolutely, and then on the other side for Endpoint, I think it starts with just getting out of your defensive half and getting some shots on target. They were pinned in their defensive half most of that first game. As you can tell, it's a 5-goal difference there. But you know, when you're outplayed that hard in game 1, you don't want to get too into it. You don't want to try and force things too early. You have to keep in mind, this is a best of 7. Even if they go up 2 games, it's scary, but you can make the adjustments pretty easily. That's why there are 7 of them. And for Gen.G, it's just about keeping up that momentum right off of kickoff. Win that kickoff, dump it into that Endpoint side, and just continue that pressure.
Exactly. I think Gen.G, realistically, they just got to continue to play their game. They know that they can do it, and we're going to see if they keep on doing it as we head on over into game number 2 in this best of 7. Bella already up in the air, being met with a challenge from Slumpy. Alanis. Pass over to Takara. She wants to hold on to control. Not able to get past that Gen.G defense. They're already setting themselves up for any attack that Endpoint tries to put on.
So a shot comes in from Takara. There you go, Endpoint on the board early in game 2. As Slumpy off the back wall Bella unable to make contact. It was a really tough bounce for her. And Takara all over it. Now Endpoint have to be feeling good early.
That's what we were waiting for. Endpoint knew, realistically, the only way to disrupt Gen.G or make them nervous or annoyed or anything, you gotta take them off the field. And if you can't bump them and if you got the opportunity to demo them, do it. Take them out, go score whatever, you know, opportunity open net you create. And that's realistically, that's the best way to play against Gen.G. They're so incredibly high rotational. It's a hard sentence to put together, but they just play really, really well. That's all y'all need to know.
They do. And especially when you keeping everything together back there, allowing our teammates to move around the field freely. I'm pretty sure that's what you were trying to say, and they're just doing it so well. Kate's decision making her to allow Bella and Courtney to just cycle as much as they do, it's just really ties things together for them and allows that speed and creativity that Bella and Courtney have being teammates for so long to link up and create that offense as she's just so stable in the back, and Kate impresses me every time she takes the field.
Same to me. I just love watching this team play together. They mesh incredibly well, but on the other end of things, so does Endpoint. They have the absolute capability to, you know, find success, and they got the 1-goal lead. They know they need to hold on to it. You can't be risky. You can't be risky with the 1-goal lead.
But that's risky, as Gen.G seemingly had a ball in the corner. But a nice challenge here from Alanis sets up her teammate beautifully. And Takara, both goals for Endpoint. She's feeling that striker vibe, and she's paying off right now.
Working together, taking the opponents off of the field is your best bet, and they're doing it so well. You saw Takara being cheeky with the challenge there with just one boost, a single boost in her tank. 3 minutes are left in this game, number 2. Endpoint holding on to a 2-0 lead as Gen.G fight to push into the Endpoint half. And that is a rare thing to say, that they have to even fight to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. Endpoint have totally changed up their play style. They're showing right now more of a Williams resolve style with that midfield control as Courtney almost able to find that redirect. Great speed to get up to it to start this Gen.G offense.
This ball's gonna find its way in the midfield. Courtney with a touch that pops it up to the ceiling. Kate, nice clear there. Looking for a follow-up from Courtney. She finds her way on in. The 50 goes in. And Gen.G cut the lead in half.
Unfortunate for Endpoint. Just a little bit of a miscommunication. Luckily, you got the 2-goal lead. You don't need to fret. But Gen.G, they'll take that happily. They've been struggling for offense this game. And sometimes, even though it's a miscommunication, total accident can get you jump started, but not for Takara. She's going off. She's got a hat trick, and she's got Endpoint up 3-1.
She just had to make sure, you know, Merc and Fennec were set to the same setting. Make sure her Fennec was secretly a Merc so she could also break through. Endpoint, they're doing it. They're making Gen.G a little bit nervous. And I say that very loosely because if you look at Gen.G, they have been nothing but smiles despite all of these goals coming in. They fist bump after each one. They still know that with every goal comes a mind reset. And that, I think, is what is kind of setting them apart right now, at least in the long game, right? Playing the long game is what is going to make you win.
Exactly. Keep the attitudes up. Don't get too down after frustrating losses. Still plenty of time to come back here. The game is not over. Endpoint have been playing exceptionally well, but that 2-goal lead can be very scary with limited time remaining. You don't want to get overconfident. You don't want to overcommit.
Well, that was definitely not an overcommit. It was nothing but a threat. Courtney's going to keep this one in that Endpoint half. Carries it over Slumpy and over the net. And a demo sends her all the way home. And that's what we were talking about, right? Demos, take them back, send them there. Triple commit to make sure Takara's shot doesn't even get a chance to be on target.
You can't let Takara shoot. She's 3 for 3. She's got a hat trick. She's got all Endpoint goals so far. As Courtney tries to start the offense with a transition, Kate getting her first shooting opportunity. Nicely placed, but man, the Endpoint defense has been on, but you can't defend when you don't have a goalie. And Courtney tucks it in the open net. Keep your eyes on Kate here. deleting that goalie off the pitch. And if you're struggling to score and you get rid of the goalie, it should work.
It's free. It's free at that point. Takara didn't even think that she would have to worry about her teammate defending it until she realized, well, if they demoed her, that means I gotta go back. And she couldn't turn around in time. But if you can't turn around in time to defend, just score one for yourself. Endpoint. They're up by 2 again.
Get the ball to Takara. She's got the hot shot right now. All 4 goals for Endpoint. And Gen.G here on kickoff. Can they muster some offense?
Let's find out. Slumpy collecting that boost. Up off the ceiling, challenged by Courtney. The 1 bounce towards the net, and the angle doesn't find its way in. The pinch on the goal line keeps this ball out, but the pressure doesn't stop there. There it is. It's Courtney up next with the challenge. Bella with 1 of her own. Slumpy no connection allows Kate time to try and send this ball towards the net, but with 30 seconds left to go, Gen.G is running out of time.
Gen.G has the right mindset. Try to get demos, try to break that defensive rotation that EU's known for. Slumpy using that Merc well, trying to get those demos. Bella, that's a tough read. Ends up finding it, and Kate there to clean up.
10 seconds are left before Endpoint can retie the series up. And I think that's going to be huge for morale headed into game number 3.
And Endpoint, I was never worried for them. When you watched the player cams in between the matches, you could see there was tons of communication. Coach was right there. He was up in the player's face. They were all listening. They were all talking about those adjustments. And even so, right now, it didn't seem like they were distraught after game 1. It didn't seem like it affected their mentality at all.
No, it really, truly didn't. And I think that's the best thing that you can do for yourselves, right? If you let even just 1 loss, you know, completely destroy your mentality, the rest of the series is gone.
Yeah, especially on LAN, and if you're considered an underdog, you know, and you hear that all the time coming in. Karma keeps calling us an underdog. Like, what's her problem?
Put your headsets back on, girls.
Yeah. But when you come in and you lose game 1 like that, you can get kind of worried. But Endpoint showing why they have that EU mentality. They don't get phased. They just rely on their defensive half, the trust in their teammates, and Takara's shooting ability for all 4 goals.
Takara popping off was exactly what they needed, I think, to be able to gain some confidence heading into this next game. But that, I don't think, will be enough against Gen.G. Slumpy, I'm looking at her to really raise the bar. I know Alanis is more than capable, but I never really see Slumpy on the Merc. So I'm a little nervous for her. I want to know what the thought behind the decision was. But I don't know. We're going to find out here if it was a worth it decision or not as we head into game number 3. Kickoff going in favor of Gen.G. Mobile 1, and they've got all the pressure in their favor.
And typically when you choose a big car like that, if I'm going Merc, it's to demo other people.
Yep.
Because I want to be as big and fat as I can, so I hit as many cars as I can and get them out of my way. Maybe that's part of the thinking process. Whatever it is, it's working for Endpoint right now in game 2. But so far, the last 30 seconds, Herc, it's been all Gen.G off the kickoff.
It absolutely has. This is one of the few times we've seen Endpoint find their way into the Gen.G half. And it took a pinch on the sidewall to break in. And even at that, the transition happened not even a mere 10 seconds later. Gen.G goes back. It's their turn on offense once again.
Yeah, very back and forth series. No team really able to take full control of the offensive half yet. It felt like Gen.G was doing it a little bit early on. And a tough read gives Courtney a shot, and she buries it. Puts Gen.G Mobile on black up early.
Kate with the pinch. And just the immediate push up from Courtney to make sure that this one could get placed in anywhere. She knew it was going to go low. She took the opportunity. It just became unsavable.
And it was a tough read on the backcourt.
Yep.
Shouldn't feel too bad about herself. Low boost in the back wall there. It's always going to be difficult. Here, Endpoint trying to work a team play out of defense. That's how you want to do it. Utilize your teammates, especially if you're low boost, to get out of that defensive half and kickstart your offense.
Exactly. Full tank of boost, enough for somebody to try and challenge, but Bella is just faster. Kate's up next. She places it into the corner. Second touch might let this waterfall down. If Slumpy didn't have the backboard read, she leaves this one for Alanis, collects the boost. They're taking their time, but Gen.G, they give them no space.
Gen.G's challenges have been on point. It's going to take a dribble play, I think, from Endpoint, similar to what we were seeing Misfits do yesterday. Allow Gen.G to come at you, utilize their pace and aggression against them, and try and utilize those teammates to get out of that defensive half and create some offense. Ooh, that was tough, but nicely done by Alanis. She's been playing great so far this series as well.
She really and truly has. Alanis reminds me very much of Kate. She's that very solid third player that you can always rely on to be there for you and defend or shoot, whatever you need her for. She will make sure she is there. Slumpy pushing on up. This ball is going to go into the midfield. A bump, though, gives the opportunity to try and clear this into the Gen.G half, and it does. It goes backboard, but it's red and sent.
Ooh, Slumpy, having confused there with the Merc once again. Tough read from Bella. That spot has been really difficult for Gen.G to defend. If you're an Endpoint player, take note of that. Keep putting balls high off the backboard. They've been struggling.
Yeah, they definitely have a little bit. Now, the good thing would be that this is a one-goal game. Might turn into two here if somebody turns around. You saw Alana. She was like, I will make sure my car turns around faster than yours, and I will get that save, and she did. And Alanis is going to take a shot of her own now. Bella with a save. This ball goes up high. Courtney, enough boost to get one more touch, but Takara's got the challenge.
Now, Alanis's composure right now, I keep looking at the cam. It gives me a lot of confidence, especially if I'm one of her teammates. She looks locked in, ready to go. Slumpy, the fake, and Takara ends up getting credit for the goal, but pay attention to Slumpy here. This is all Slumpy, confusing the last defender. Look at her go up. Ariel makes the defender think a touch is coming. Instead, drops it right down. And we have a tie game.
If Slumpy was like her Twitter, it would have been that fake. I think we've got a little bit of a pause here, though. We're going to come on back here. Let me step back up on my box so I can be as tall as you again. Yeah, that's what we need. We need this. There you go, guys.
I'm not a giant.
She's not 6'7", and I'm not 4'11".
But we are having a great series go on. I think a tie game, 147 in game 3. Knotted up one each. With technical issue right now, we're working on that for you guys. But so far, who's been the standout player for you this series?
Ooh, honestly, even given the way that the first game went, Takara. Takara popping off in this game has been absolutely incredible, and I know Courtney has had her shining moments, and honestly, the reason I picked Takara is because I expect that from Gen.G. They know my expectation for them is extremely high. If they do anything less than that, then I'm worried. But for Takara to be absolutely stepping up, making sure, you know, she gets the hat trick, then she goes fourth after Slumpy starts to step in, that's a standout player for me right now.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. For me on Gen.G, obviously I have to love the way Courtney's playing, but for Kate, I think is playing a phenomenal job in back, keeping everything in check. I know I've mentioned it a bunch of times. It's because of how impressive it is. It's really difficult to be that player in the back who allows your teammates to go for whatever they want, whenever they feel like it. It's all about communication, and Gen.G are just showing that so well. Bella and Courtney have been teammates for such a long time, and they've had such great success in the WCB, and now Kate coming in. I just think she might be a perfect fit for this roster, but Endpoint have something to say about it.
They do. They want to challenge what Gen.G's bringing to the table. I loved in the video when they said that they were just proud that they made it. That making it here was a feat and an accomplishment in itself. And it really and truly is. And if you come in aware you're an underdog, right? I know we keep using the word, but you come in aware you're an underdog, all you can do is give 100% and be happy. As long as you walk away knowing you did everything you can or could, that's all you could ever hope for.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we take a look at the player cams, everyone looks chilling. Maybe we're going to get ready soon as we get some confirmation here. And I love the setup that we have here on Dreamhack. The lighting isn't too tough. You can get like a nice definition of the players. They all look good. Oh boy. Hello.
Hi guys. All right, well, it's almost time. Let us know. We want to hear you cheer for whichever team you are rooting for. So we're going to start out with Endpoint. If you're rooting for Endpoint here today, let us hear you in the crowd. We're waiting to see.
Any Endpointers?
Any Endpointers? I think they're all still in EU.
Oh, we got some Endpointers.
We got a couple Endpointers. All right. I think I know where this one's going to go. If you're rooting for Gen.G, Mobile One, Racing Black, let us hear you.
All right, we got a favorite in the building.
I think we're in NA.
We got a report. We got a report. We have a favorite in the building.
This has been such an incredible day. Thank you all for being here.
Look at the crowd. It's
look
great.
At them. Keep it going. I love the wrist flick that guy's doing.
Yeah, don't break it, bro. Chill out. Oh, okay. I thought he was going to jump into the camera right there.
They're really happy, and I love that. This is such, it's a historic event, and I wouldn't want anything less. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Rocket Clash game number 3 in our other semifinal between Endpoint and Gen.G Mobile One Racing Black to find out who will meet Misfits Gaming in the grand finals.
Absolutely. And Bella wants to get things started quick. Courtney, she's so dangerous off the sidewall. Tried that musty flick. I like the idea. Bella also keeping pressure. As Gen.G swarming in the midfield right now. Watch out. A demo came through, and that could open things up.
Something with the clear. Alanis intercepting it as a pass. Maybe the double tap, triple tap maybe for the angle. Doesn't find it, but you knew she wanted it.
I would have lost my mind if Alana scored that. That was one of the most beautiful setups. She had it there, almost got to Kara. Double off the sidewall. Can't find the net, but man, Endpoint after this break look real sharp. The mechanics are on. They're controlling the ball. This looks like a different Endpoint than we saw in game 1.
It does, and the one thing I've always loved talking about is when there are technical difficulties, you get this unofficial break, this unofficial pause, and you can use it. Now, granted, if you're the person with the technical difficulties, maybe you can't be doing this, but for everyone else, you can use it as a time to reset, kind of, you know, tweak up the game plan a little bit and see if there's something you can do better. And it definitely feels like Endpoint took the opportunity to kind of calm down, chill out a little bit against Gen.G, but 17 seconds left to go. Courtney, she wants to try and start taking shots at this net as Alanis gets past. 10 seconds to go.
As the final 10 counts down, this is a huge game. Game 3 in this best of 7 when things are even up. It's huge as a rare bounce comes across, and Courtney puts it in the top right in the final seconds to steal game 3.
Courtney with the 0-second goal. She did the shimmy. She was happy. Gen.G Mobile One have gone up by 1 in the series. That's not Misfits. That's Gen.G.
Gen.G.
There they go.
Let's go, boys.
Let's get it. Oh my goodness, you can see it. They're so happy. But at the same time, they're a little bit more locked in than I saw them in their first win.
Yeah, absolutely. Gen.G are totally locked in. I think you know, they always bring that professionalism to their game and how they approach it, how they execute it. I don't know. I can't compliment Gen.G enough. I think they're an extraordinary team putting on display, but on the other side, Endpoint, we're 10 seconds away from potentially being up 2-1 as well. You can't let this get to you. It's a best of 7, only 3 matches played, and if, you know, no offense to Endpoint, but if the mechanical consistency was there, they could arguably be up, you know, much easier than they could have been, and because the chances are there for Endpoint. They're playing exceptionally well. They're utilizing their teammates really, really well up and down the field, and they have the solo playability. You saw Alanis almost had the triple touch there. Takara, she's scoring everything she touches. So if we can just find that contact, that more consistent scoring thing, Endpoint can be right back in this.
It's definitely a mix of multiple things that need to be going down for Endpoint to kind of get into that groove. But it's like you said, they have the opportunity, you know, to be beyond successful. Like you said, going back to the setup for the triple tap if she wanted it. If she had just closed out or locked in, who knows what that might have found its way on into that net. But we've got game 4 underway. Gen.G are fighting to head to match point, and I say fighting lightly. This team is ready. They're locked and loaded, and it is one shot after the other.
Look over at, I was trying to find Courtney. It's a little dark over there, but I think she's still smiling. Gen.G up early, as well as have the pressure, but Endpoint trying to answer. Slumpy, waiting for her to get going. She's a sleeping giant, and when she gets one, who knows? They could all start to fall as Bella Open net opportunity, no. Goalie's there, Slumpy denies it, and Takara is trying to clear.
Keeping it going is Alanis. Maybe a pass over to herself. Courtney waiting, longest and strongest clear in the game. And a bump actually allows Endmoin to try and take control for a second, but it's going to be short-lived as Bella breaks on in, takes control, pass over to Courtney, and the slot is on target. Gen.G have found the 1-goal lead.
Yeah, the trust is there. Bella not allowing Alanis to follow that ball and give Kate that space to find Courtney in the middle. And that's trust right there when you're passing to that last defender in line. If that gets cut out, you're giving up an open net. So that takes a lot of trust, and Courtney burying the opportunity.
Slumpy taking a shot of her own. Bella with the save. She carries this one up into the air. She sees Kate. She had enough boost to actually get down and touch that. She just couldn't get her car in the positioning she wanted it to. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And Gen.G, there's one thing I know they can do, is hold on to a 1-goal lead for the sake of heading to match point.
Absolutely, Gen.G is not going to allow anything free. There hasn't been much physicality out of the endpoint side. We haven't really seen many demo attempts, not as many backline runs as we saw out of the Williams Resolve match earlier in that EU play style, as Alanis navigates that tough situation beautifully and keeps it to a 1-goal game.
3 minutes left. Shot not on target, but that was a scary one. All you got to do is make sure everything you put is on target, because you're not going to get many opportunities against Gen.G. And when you do have them, you got to capitalize on them. Otherwise, they go wayside, and it's really difficult to find more.
Absolutely. Slumpy off the crossbar. Keep that in mind if Gen.G are able to make a comeback here. Slumpy once again utilizing that Merc hitbox really nice, slamming that one down the field. As Alana, she's in a tough spot. She's gonna have to try and control as Bella comes in from the midfield on a tough read once again in the backfield and slots it home. Gen.G utilizing that midfield tremendously well right now.
Oh, you just know that last defender was not expecting it. I think she wanted one more touch and wasn't expecting a little bit of a fake and allow it. But that's just a testament to how strong the Gen.G communication is. They are able to talk quick enough to say, hey, I'm gonna leave this for you. You go, I'm gonna fake the shot, and let's confuse them and see what happens, and it works every single time. And I maybe not every single time, because that would be near impossible, but in the Gen.G world, it's basically every single time. Bella, not enough boost to make contact with this ball. Courtney is up next. Nobody there to defend it. It's Takara racing back to make sure this ball doesn't even go near that net.
And if I'm endpoint, from now on, I'm not allowing any passes towards that middle of the field if I can help it. Try and keep that in the back of your mind when you're defending, because both of Gen.G Mobile One's plays have come off of those midfield passes as a ball across the front of the net. Can endpoint find it? They can't, and Slumpy is going to have to try and find her teammate for more offense.
Just under 90 seconds to go. Gen.G, they want match point. They want to continue to feel confident because they are confident. Slumpy pops this one up in the air, and I think this is almost very reminiscent of our last series that we saw, where when endpoint is down, right, realistically, you would need to keep that ball a lot closer to yourself to not allow Gen.G the space to challenge you. And I feel like what's happening is endpoint is kind of just throwing themselves at this ball right now in hopes of getting a clear that's long enough to follow up, and it's not playing in their favor.
It's really difficult, especially when you're losing, to have the composure in the environment we're in, to just slow the play down, trust yourself to be able to dribble that ball out. It can be anxiety relieving to just jump in the air. It feels like you're doing something, but if you take the control of the ball as it comes grading down, I thought maybe a third goal there, and try and dribble your way out of defense, but when Gen.G are going this fast, it's real difficult to stop.
He said, I thought that was gonna be the third goal, and immediately I saw Courtney up, and I was like, well, there it is. Gen.G, Mobile One find the third goal for themselves. One more would be a nail in all four corners of a coffin. 27 seconds left before Gen.G can head over to match point. Takara's up in the air. Maybe a reset could help inch this ball towards that Gen.G net, but it still, unfortunately, just wouldn't be enough, as Gen.G, like I said, that is a monster house. to go up against.
Yeah, they're playing really, really well right now. And you can see it, the ball is finding them. And when you're playing a series and the ball is going to you for open nets or finding teammates for open nets off of 50s or challenges, it just showcases how well your positioning is. If you have those players in the right positions to follow up on those offensive opportunities like Gen.G Mobile and Black was doing, all things are clicking. And Herc, for me, I know we talked about it during the game, but for Endpoint, it's an easy adjustment after that one. Don't allow anything to go towards the middle uncontested, because that was 3 uncontested mid passes and 3 goals for Gen.G.
Exactly. And it is, at the end of the day, there's only 3 people that can decide if that change is going to happen, and it is Endpoint. It is up to them to see if they are able, to adapt quick enough to Gen.G, or if they are aware that really you just got to give it 100%, see what happens, and let it happen.
And it's easier said than done. It's like, oh, just stop the mid pass. Well, there's a lot of things that go into that, of course. The Endpoint probably is struggling in the boost department because we know how solid Gen.G's rotations can be. And when you're playing up against a team like that, it's not as easy as just, we're just going to sit in the midfield. It's very, very difficult, and it requires all 3 players to all be on the same page, which Endpoint are totally capable of doing, and I expect them to do so in the next one.
I do too. I think that we are about to see some changes come out from Endpoint. I think they are going to be able to do it. I don't know about reverse sweeping. I don't know how confident I am. I think Gen.G, again, they are, forever a top 2 team in North America. It's been that way since they've entered the scene. It is it feels like it is almost too much to go up against them, but we're going to see if the underdogs Endpoint CEXUV can do what feels like the impossible as Alanis puts a shot on net and Kate sends it back, and the journey to reverse sweeping Gen.G Mobile 1 has begun.
Yeah, this is a great start for Endpoint. As the ball gets towards the middle there, that's what you want to see. Alanis unable to tuck it in, but that kick-starts the offense, and now the cycles come in. Great play from Bella to allow Courtney to follow it up, but there's no Gen.G player there, and now Alana starts the transition out.
Slumpy, leaving this one for Takara to take a shot. This one goes towards that crossbar. Slow follow-up there from Alanis, maybe a waterfall down, but as Kate has the backboard cover, she puts it into the midfield. Small touch to let Takara keep the challenge going, but everything is constantly being met, and the shots are high. They need to be a little bit more on target if you want to actually capitalize on this opportunity you have at being able to take this many shots onto Gen.G's net.
And it's pretty clear from Gen.G's play style, they are a fast-paced team, and they want to make you match that pace. I want to see Endpoint try and slow things down, utilize that pace against Gen.G. Try and make them slow the game down and play at their pace instead. But right now, Gen.G are just zipping around, especially on the offensive half, as a shot comes in, and Courtney beats the Endpoint player to the ball and puts her team up 1.
Oh man, Sumpy's touch, it unfortunately just set her up for such a great shot, and Gen.G won't let anything, go unused. And by anything unused, I'm talking opportunities. If they see that there is the possibility to put that ball towards that net, they will do it.
And it's so difficult when you're a team who can't immediately match pace. Not that Endpoint can't match pace, it's more about the adjustments and what Gen.G is forcing you to play with and also play at speed. It's just so difficult to adjust, but Endpoint can do it. They just got to get the control a little bit down and make sure they finish their chances.
I absolutely agree, Alanis. Nice save there, making sure this one doesn't go in. She's double touches to constantly carry this ball all the way to the other side. Slumpy up next on the rotation to take a shot. Kate meeting her up in the air as this ball falls into the corner. Courtney challenges, wins the 50. It's going to be Slumpy who tries to keep this ball in that midfield, and it's short-lived as Gen.G breaks on it.
Dakar, she's had the hot hand lately, fakes past one, but those Gen.G midfield challenges are on point, Herc, and it is just stuck in the Endpoint half right now.
Kate taking her time. Courtney with a shot. Takara keeping it out. As we approach the halfway point of Game 5, Gen.G sits on match point. This is everything to them. They want to claim a spot in the grand finals, and 1 or 2 more goals could absolutely secure it with the amount of insane defense that they have been playing. That Endpoint, they can't break past them. So at this point, go make a couple more shots of your own and claim this game.
They're looking so dominant through that midfield, and it, of course, starts with their speed. They're on top of every ball, every free opportunity. Gen.G is there. They're not missing a step. The rotations are on. And maybe you turn towards that physical game. Throw the bumps in. Start to mess up that Gen.G rotation, because right now, they're just in full force. They're not letting go of that ball. They're not giving up any space, and it's making it real tough on Endpoint.
It really and truly is. Now, the good thing is it's only a 1-goal lead right now. It leaves everything open to tie things up for Endpoint. If they can find something of their own, no follow-up to the backboard touch there.
It's the right idea, though. That double touch was there. The pass was great. It's tough to get those in, but just the fact that the opportunity was there should give them confidence for the last minute 30 or so.
It really should. Takara, pass over to... Oh my gosh, even the passing plays, when they look so incredibly strong, like that should be there. Somehow Gen.G is just everywhere all at once.
They're reading those passing lanes. Takara trying to find a bump. Alana's almost had the dunk. Signs of life for Endpoint here as the clock ticks down. When do you send the house? Your tournament life on the line. 1 minute remaining. Gen.G looking at moving on to the grand finals if this score holds.
45 seconds before Gen.G Mobile One Racing Black is on their way to continuing to make history, not only for themselves, but for the scene, and to give us the matchup I think people have wanted for many, many years.
Absolutely, as Bella, beautiful carry down the field. Takara tries to break it up a bit, and in transition, once again, met by a Gen.G player, and that pass not allowed to happen.
Gen.G fans, there's 10 seconds left to go. Cheer on your team. Endpoint, they've got one more opportunity to formulate a play, and Bella's gonna waste their time and carry this one for a 0-second goal to claim their spot in the grand finals of Rocket Clash.
Gen.G are gonna be moving on to the grand finals. Congratulations to them. And Endpoint, I mean, they looked fantastic all series. It was just a matter of finishing their chances, and unfortunately, they couldn't find the back of the net enough. But they should leave with their heads held high. But right now, Gen.G are moving on to the grand finals. They are looking fast. They got their rotations down, and it's if I'm Misfits waiting there, I'm a little bit worried. But Misfits, I mean, Taco, Misfits had it in the first series, so are you worried if you're Misfits?
I mean, I'm not thrilled if I'm Misfits, I gotta say. I mean, I don't think really any of the results that you could see from whether it's Gen.G Mobile One Racing or if it is Endpoint, I don't really want to play either of them, but you gotta play through someone. Gen.G has shown that they are, not necessarily the Kryptonite Misfits, but definitely one of the better matched teams. So I think we have a great grand finals up, but shout out to Endpoint. They kept those games very close. There were several times where they were able to lurch out to that lead, get that game win, and other times it was really Gen.G having to hard counter a lot of what Endpoint was thrown at them. So I would say sometimes it just shakes down like that. You have some of the momentum, you have a lot of that pressure, but if you're not able to capitalize consistently and keep your back half clean, it can be tough to actually overcome that dominant force that is Courtney, Bella, and now Kate on that striking trio.
Oh my goodness, you couldn't be more proud of them. And honestly, the same absolutely goes to Endpoint. I know that this team, they are not upset with the performance they gave. You know that they gave 110%. They tried everything that they could. And I think we're gonna have a very special interview coming up for you guys very, very soon. We're gonna keep the mystery guest going. But guys, give it up one more time for Gen.G as we bring them over to the desk to talk to our next grand finalist.
Hey, guys, we're gonna be welcoming in Courtney from Gen.G. Hello.
And so, Courtney, yes, welcome to the desk. Congrats, by the way, for getting to the grand final here. Only 4 teams here, so a lot of pressure to get on in, but first best 7 down, you're on for Misfits. First off, just got to get your semblance. How are you feeling on LAN? Is this one of your first LANs?
I'm having the best time of my life. This is my first ever LAN, and I will never forget this moment. I love playing with these girls so much. It's a memory I'll have for the rest of my life.
Oh, I talked to you last night. We hung out, and we've hung out few times over the weekend, and I kept asking, I was like, are y'all nervous? Are you excited? And literally, you came in so confident. I've never seen you once doubt if you were going to end up in the grand finals. You've been so ecstatic. Was there ever a chance that you guys felt like it wasn't your game to win?
Definitely the game we lost. I mean, I feel we just weren't playing the game we needed to, and they capitalized on it.
I have to ask the question. Going into the finals, you're playing against Misfits, your rivals. Usually you guys handle them. Are you feeling as confident heading in after the result they had put up today?
I'm not scared. My mom's in the crowd. I got to do her proud.
Mom buff is something that we don't talk enough about in esports, but yes, it is nice to see. And it's nice also to see that it's not even, I would say, some people come in and it's a lot of confidence, a lot of trash talk. For you, you're just like, yeah, we got it. It's like,
I'm
it's
here
all
to take care of business, have fun, do some dance moves, you know how it goes.
We were complimenting you on that, so that is nice to see.
I love jamming to my music. I had it going on, and I was just feeling it.
Well, it was very evident to be able to see that. So we do have a break before our grand final, so we'll let you get back to celebrating, but any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Shout out to my whole family. Shout out to my family watching at home on the TV. Shout out to my dog. Shout out to my teammates. You all mean the world to me. Genuinely, thank you so much. And shout out Gen.G Mobile 1. Hashtag my oil.
Our oil, sometimes it feels like. But no, yes, congrats to Gen.G again. Courtney, thanks for joining us on the desk. We'll be seeing you very shortly in our grand finals. It's a North American masterpiece coming together. Misfits Gaming, Gen.G Mobile 1 Racing Black. After this break, why would you go anywhere else than right here? It's the Dreamhack Dallas Rocket Clash, back after a break.
Same intentions, I can't find that same connection. Do you remember? I know I'm still in your story. You look me in the eyes like you don't even know me. Didn't kill you, but I was there too, You look me in the eyes like you don't even
Fuck that beat.
You've got me saying words in my head, filling my mind with these images, yeah. And it's the way that you look at me, makes me feel like I can't breathe. It ain't right, 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 it ain't right, 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 it ain't right. Oh no, it ain't right, 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 it ain't right, 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 it ain't right. Oh no, it ain't right, 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 it ain't right, 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 it ain't right. You've got me saying words in. You've got me saying words in my head. You've got me. You've got me saying words in my head, filling my mind with these images, yeah. And it's the way that you look at me, makes me feel like I can't breathe. It ain't right, 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 it ain't right, 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 it ain't right. Oh no, it ain't right, 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 it ain't right, 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 it ain't right. Oh no, it ain't right, 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 it ain't right, 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 it ain't right, 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 it ain't right. You've got me saying words in.
So much hate, it made me nauseous. Worked in silence, made me cautious. I exerted every option, count me out. Must think I lost it, losing sleep. Somehow I thought it. I heard life was a box of chocolates. Ain't shit sweet round here, it's toxic. Made the most of what we got. We go hard, been through a lot. So we party till we drop. Tell the neighbors it won't stop. Watch your shorty hit me up on days I need to pick me up. I just wanna live it up. Can somebody lift me up?
And we are back with more of Dreamhack Dallas' main stage, the Rocket Clash, $20,000 to determine who is the best in Women's Rocket League. I'm still Dana Taco. I believe these two are still Hercules and Karma, and it's hard to know how any of us are after such a mind-bending two-series to wind us up here before our grand finals. Misfits and Gen.G facing off to take it all.
Yeah, it's going to be an insane match, especially with Misfits coming off their upset in Series 1. and then Gen.G coming in, their NA rivals into this grand final. I think we're in for a treat.
Oh, we definitely are. We were talking about it off broadcast about, which way this is going to go, and we were talking about the very few times we've seen these two play each other. It goes the distance, no matter what. They are so evenly matched up that whoever wins, that they are actually just having a better day. These are not two bad teams by any means. These are the two best teams in NA.
Yeah, and obviously winning events like this means so much to the players, but for all these players, and I'm sure thousands, if not millions of gamers across the world, video games can mean so much more. We sat down with these players to talk about how Rocket League has affected them in their own lives.
Rocket League to me means like passion. I'm just super passionate about the game. Being a part of the Rocket League community just makes me feel so welcome.
Getting out of high school, I didn't have many friends, and going into college, it really gave me a place to express myself and be who I am and just meet so many amazing people. So the community means the world.
I was in uni for the second time, having a difficult time, and Rocket League gave me the opportunity to turn my passion and my talent into a career.
It's opened so many doors for me. It's crazy to think a cardboard game literally creates so many different opportunities for me.
It's given me opportunities to meet people I never thought I would, and it's just genuinely changed my life.
In a sense, it's given me a sense of purpose because I was struggling to find my place prior to playing Rocket League, and now all those hours and all those years of playing paid off. And so Rocket League has been a massive influence in my life, and I'm very, very grateful for the game.
The Rocket League community is amazing. It means so much to me. Obviously our goal is to come here and win, but the fact we had that opportunity to fly halfway across the world and play on stage for a video game, I'm just grateful, and I'm grateful for the community in general for letting us do that.
The Rocket League community is like a big sort of family.
There's such a wide variety of scenes and of people that it's very easy to find a place that suits. It's a very supportive scene. Everyone tries to build each other up a lot, which I see in other esports. It tends to be people are so competitive with each other to the point where it becomes unhealthy. But in Rocket League, there's none of that. It's everyone's just building each other up. I really enjoy that about the scene.
It's just great. The entire community itself, supporting us, supporting my team, supporting pretty much everyone else going on. People see that you're doing stuff like this, and they'll DM you, be oh my god, congrats, or well done, good job. But the Rocket League community is really, it can be special, yeah.
The Rocket League community is fun, kinda crazy at times, a little stressful, but it's an experience that will help me for the rest of my life.
It just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy seeing that, because Rocket League has affected me so much, but it does kind of feel well, yeah, it's just a video game, but no, it really can be so much more. And now, as Slumpy had alluded to within that video package, you get the chance to fly across the world and play on a stage to play a video game and have people cheering you on. It's such an insane feeling, Herc.
No, it really is. This is such a life-changing game, and just esports and video games in general, people in events like Dreamhack are changing people's literal lives. Some people might even be flying for the first time. We don't even know. People like you, like me, we've never done this before. Karma, getting to cast this is insane. I remember watching you on the big stage. This esport in this game will always be a favorite to all of us. I know we all love Rocket League here, watching it, and I cannot wait for this series.
Rocket League was a huge life changer for me. Just the amount of opportunities that have come from it, and to see these girls out here on stage in this event, to see where women have come in Rocket League is just truly spectacular. Something that didn't exist a few years ago. Now we're here at a LAN with a crowd. Their families are here. They're up on stage, and it's just everything you want when you look at a scene like this and what the women deserve.
Yeah, it is truly everything that you would want. And one thing that I really want is people to break down these teams. As we mentioned, it is Misfits. It is Gen.G Mobile One Racing Black in our grand finals for the Rocket Clash. These two teams alone will be taking home $15K. Winner taking home $10K for that first prize. And as we break down these teams, Karma, will go back to you. Gen.G, they had, I would say, a relative easier time, at least based on series score. Endpoint put up a great fight. But what do you feel like Gen.G has to focus on coming into this?
Ooh, that's tough. I think you're going to face a team in Misfits that obviously you're familiar with. And you usually have the favored momentum against them. Like Gen.G historically has upset Misfits. I think here, though, it is a different element. You have to keep that in mind. It's not like playing online. And I'm excited to see what they bring. My eye is on, I believe, Kate. I've mentioned it multiple times on the broadcast and on desk. I believe that third-person role that she plays is the most difficult to play. The decisions you have to make are so crucial to your team's environment and your team's outcome. And I think so far, she's done a tremendous job at doing that and putting her teammates in a great position. And I think she's going to continue to do that here in the finals.
And that is one side of that grand finals. Herc for Misfits. Obviously, beating Williams Resolve feels like a championship in itself. That's quite the accomplishment, but that's only one leg of the journey. Now here comes the other one. Misfits, how they played against Williams Resolve. What do we feel like we've learned about this Misfits squad coming to the grand finals now?
I think we've learned, that Misfits honestly has good LAN presence. They know how to stay very level-headed when things are and aren't going their way at times, and the best thing that they can do is have that mindset going up against Gen.G. Gen.G is realistically one of the very few teams that will always truly give them a run for their money, metaphorically and physically now. But yeah, Misfits, we really just, they gotta have a continued really confident mindset in themselves.
And so we'll really have to see. Obviously, yes, confidence, huge. Mechanical consistency, huge. Having the actual composure, obviously, is so important. And it's also important to weigh in with your thoughts. If Twitch chat would like to play some predictions, then gladly type on in hashtag Gen.G if you would like to vote for Gen.G, or hashtag MIS for the Misfits, and we'll be able to see how chat leans in and how really they favor one team over the other. Maybe it's even a split. This does feel like this is a coin flip, and the coin would land on its edge.
Absolutely. I think, ANG has been playing so well out of the Misfits side. I'm excited to see if she can continue that defensive prowess here in the grand finals. And I've been blown away by her performance so far.
And so as we then look toward this grand final, we'll hear what Twitch chat has to say. But Karma, going right back into you, What is your pick here? One final best of 7 to be the first team to be crowned an International Women's Rocket League champion.
Well, I think I have to go with Gen.G on this one. I love the energy they're bringing. I like the energy they see on stage. Hearing Courtney's interview and her composure and just, I don't like to use the word, but the vibes. The vibes are just really great coming out of that side. I can't deny it, and I think Misfits, that break may come into play. Gen.G just played. They're coming off a hot series where they look good, so I'm going to have to go with Gen.G.
I am on the other end of things. I love Misfits to death. Those girls I know have the capability to be some of the best players in the entire world, but right now, today, it feels like Gen.G's series to win. Ooh. They were so strong, and I say this like I give my prediction like this because they said I couldn't pick two teams. If Misfits have the strong game that we have seen them play throughout the WCB season, the normal, regular online season, there is no way Gen.G is touching them. But on LAN, I think Gen.G takes this.
I think it's a confident pick, and honestly, you can't go wrong. I don't think there's a foolish pick to be had by any means as we do go into this series, but I will have to say, I think Gen.G are the overall most consistent team within WCB NA, but I think the higher peak at times goes to Misfits. They're my pick, and I think just beating the Williams Resolve is a huge accomplishment. I think they can do it again, and obviously just one team standing in their way from making sure if I'm correct or not. Either way, it's going to be a fantastic time, and I'm sure that we'll be able to enjoy quite the spectacle here on the cams, because we only got 7 games potentially away from crowning a champion. You guys are now rearing to get into it, so I won't really just hold things up anymore. Herc Karma, one last time, take us into it. Grand Finals, it's Gen.G Mobile One Racing Black versus Misfits Gaming to take it all.
All right, guys, this is about to be one of the craziest grand finals we will ever have in Women's Rocket League. Karma, when I think of these two teams, I can't even fathom how intense this matchup is about to be.
Yeah, this is everything you play for as a player. The LAN environment, the bright lights, the cameras are on, the players are here, the crowd's excited. And this is what you play for as a team. And we're so excited to kick things off here in this grand finals. Let's hear some noise, crowd, as we cheer on these girls in their first event and get things going.
Love hearing everyone here. And again, I just want to take a second to say thank you for being a part of one of the most historic moments in Women's Rocket League, and I think in Rocket League in general. It's been long overdue for women to be able to have a LAN of their own, and it's happening. Gen.G versus Misfits. It is officially begun.
And both teams looking good out of the gate as the possession goes back and forth. So we're trying to see here which team can come up and score first.
Realistically, between these two teams, coming into this, who do you think is going to have the first swing at momentum?
Oh, it's going to be tough. I mean, Angie's been holding it down the back line for so long. And with the way Gen.G's been playing in their rotations, they've looked really strong. And they have that fast-paced offense with that speed, and you have to watch out in the midfield.
Well, let's keep this one going. Players are starting off strong. Everybody's doing the absolute best that they can. You know that game number one is always going to start off a little bit slow. Nobody wants to make any big intentional risks. Keep things nice and slow. But at the end of the day, we've gone just over 2.5 minutes scoreless, and it is officially time for somebody to try and take the reins of this game.
Yeah, Bella tried to slow play there, leaves it for her teammate. As Tally trying to force Gen.G into an awkward situation, it kind of backfires as a shot goes all the way downfield. Kate able to keep it in. Midfield's looking kind of open, but no Gen.G player there, and Misfits have time to reset.
Yes, they do. 2 minutes into this game, and a shot over the backboard from Bella. Gets counterattacked in transition for Tallybird to find one of her own. Misfits Gaming take the early series lead.
Yes, Tally finding the goal, but that play was all Ravina. The beautiful read off the back wall to beat the attacker from Gen.G, Bubble One Black, clears it all the way down the field and gives Tally a nice open net.
That's all you can hope for. I know, listen, I genuinely think Gen.G could be a better LAN team, but Misfits, they are so strong. Again, this is a true coin flip game. Yes. It doesn't matter who you pick, because realistically there are so many arguments to go the other way and to just go for them that it's unfathomable, to be able to predict where the series is going to go.
Absolutely. The only thing you can go off of is past performances, past matchups, and that does favor that Gen.G side. But today just seems like a different version of Misfits, the way they're playing. Ravina seems so composed. Angie is just Wonder Woman on the back side of the defensive half, and Tally, you know she's going to do her thing. Yeah. And now it's on Gen.G to create some space.
It really is. You can see them pushing up a lot, but I think space is, like you said, it's really what's going to be the decider between these two teams. Demo onto Angie opens up the field a little bit. Everybody fighting for control of this ball. A quarter of a take a booster. Courtney to carry this one down to the midfield. Challenged by Angie and followed up by Tallybird, but it's Bella who takes it away.
I'm going to be interested to see how Gen.G kind of adjusts. They're coming off a series where I felt like they controlled the pace of the series that entire time, and they won. Now they're playing a team that can match their pace. It's going to take them some adjustments, but as a player, it's difficult to immediately get used to.
It really is. And again, game one is usually it's a feeler, even for some of the best teams in the world. Bella drop down pass over to Courtney. It's a wide shot that Tallybird takes and magnets onto her car. Bella up in the air, off the ceiling, down, shot towards the net is wide. And with 1 minute to go, Misfits just barely hold on to their 1-goal lead.
That's right, they've been on the defensive half for a majority of this tournament. So it's something they're comfortable with, but it makes me anxious as heck as these girls showcase their communication and trust. Angie trying to make some magic happen on the offensive end. Tally double touches there, but it's denied by Courtney and cleared by Kate.
Ravina with a clear of her own every time this ball is in the air. 2 to 3 people are fighting for it. Bella meets this one. Talibird trying to take an on-target shot. Gets disrupted. 17 seconds left. Gen.G got to break out. There's enough time for one more play. Up towards the backboard. Ravina puts it down into the corner. Slowing things down is Angie. Bella up next. 7 seconds. This ball is in the air. We're still in play. This could be dangerous. Bella, she sees this one. And it hits the ground. Misfits take game number 1 in our grand finals.
And I like seeing the fist pump from Tally. As soon as that ball hits the ground, she's excited. She's congratulating her teammates. That's how much this means to these girls. 1 game is a huge advantage. They know that this could go the full 7. It's going to be a battle both ways, and just winning that game 1, you can see the emotion for them, and that's huge, especially because they've been the team on break, Kirk, and that's so difficult when you're coming in cold against a team who's just won their match. So credit to Misfits, relying on their laurels, their defense, you know, and it paid off.
It really did. And the fact that it was a 1-goal game is a huge indicator of how close this series is about to be between these two teams. Again, it is nothing short of close between them. It's always game 6, game 7, whatever. But 1 goal, that's unheard of for Gen.G.
Yeah, and that's Misfits' play style. They'll let you come to them. That's what they did with Williams Resolve. And Williams Resolve previously undefeated. They were struggling to score on this Misfits defense. And now we're seeing Gen.G kind of go through the same things. The benefit that Gen.G had was they watched that first series.
Yep.
So they could see and take notes of the adjustments that Misfits were making, because they came out with the same style in game 1.
And realistically, if that does not help them in any way, that just shows that they would be playing such an incredible game today. And that's as far as Misfits goes. But we've got game number 2 coming up very shortly. We're getting players back onto the field, and we're going to find out, is Gen.G going to come back? And when I say come back, I mean realistically between these two teams, 1 game at a time is truly a comeback.
Yeah, every game matters when you're this evenly matched, when you're on the stage like this. Again, a lot of these girls, it's their first LAN environment, and they're handling it with such poise and such elegance. It's great to watch, but on the gameplay side, I'm interested to see if Gen.G starts sending some physicality. We talk about it all the time, but when the rotations are on, you got to get physical, you got to get dirty, you got to get those girls out of position, open things up for your team. And with the Misfits rotations, they're so solid that you just got to try and get in there. It's so difficult to pick the right time.
Everything down to the wire was absolutely true. We're going to wait to find out if Gen.G is about to play like a rat to try and get past Misfits Gaming, or are they going to keep it clean and hope that rotations are the answer. Misfits Gaming trying to take some more shots of their own here. Kate carrying this one up high. It's Talibird that actually gets the beat out. And Misfits Gaming, they're just taking their time, controlling the pace of the series right now.
Yeah, I like what Misfits is doing in the midfield area. There's been several times now where a Misfits player has had the ball and passed backwards. Going against the forward thinking of Rocket League, you just want to hit the ball forwards usually, but utilizing that back pass similar to real life soccer, real life sports, to keep that possession has been instrumental in Misfits' success so far today.
It absolutely has. Just over a minute, and we are scoreless in this game. Now, granted, the same thing happened in our previous, and Gen.G definitely want to change that. Courtney up next, able to get 2 touches. Is there going to be a third? No. Is there going to be a follow-up? It's going to be denied either way. Bella up next with a pinch. This one's just wide. It's enough, but Ravina's got the midfield cleared.
And that was my concern for Gen.G entering this series with the way Misfits was playing defense. Can they individually just bring it like Bella puts on display, and every ball towards the middle, and she's all over it.
I don't mean respectfully. That's the word. Respectfully, the Misfits defense looks a little confused.
It definitely did on that play. I mean, there was a little bit of a hesitation off the back wall that allowed Bella to sneak in and find that open space. Heads up play from Bella, and that's huge for her team.
It really is. 3:26 to go. It's going to be Kate trying to take this ball towards the net. Ravina up in the air. Angie sees her and raises her clear. Here comes Bella. Challenge won by Angie. But it actually goes back. It's Kate who regains control, taking her time. She wants to pop it up. Tallybird's got her read like a book on that one. But does she have the next play settled? She does. She carries this into the corner, takes her time. But Kate is up next.
And my eyes are on Kate as well. Is she going to start playing more aggressive? She was pretty passive in the first series and it worked great, but now they need her passing prowess. They need her creativity to open things up and give Courtney and Bella those finishing opportunities.
Angie doinking this ball off of Courtney's car into the air. Bella puts it low. And she's giving herself a wide open net clear. Gen.G 2-0 with just over half the game left to go.
Now once again, Bella on it, finds the loose ball, spots the open net, and that's, to me, can be some of the most difficult shots when you know the net's open. You have the whole field looking at you, but she stayed calm, stayed composed, and she's one goal away from a hat trick.
Well, let's see if she can make it happen. Tallybird wants to start that trip of her own there, and she places this ball up to the ceiling off the kickoff, and it waterfalls down perfectly into the net.
And that's what you don't want if you're a team trying to come back. You're up 2-0, you're starting to claw back in. It seems like the game's secure, and then a kickoff goal. Hopefully, Misfits, or Gen.G keep their composure, excuse me.
Tallybird carrying this one up to the air. Able to get past one defender. Can she get past two? Everyone really just slowing down the pace of the game, taking their time. Nobody wants to make any mistakes or any more than they have. This ball goes from the corner to a center. It's a shot from Kate, not on target, but Courtney's follow-up will be Gen.G extend the lead by 2.
Yeah, once again, these are scrappy goals here for Gen.G. Just slight mistouches out of the Misfits side, and every time, Gen.G are there to punish.
Well, we're going to head back into kickoff here in game number 2 to see if Gen.G can tie up the series. They're holding on to the lead, and we've seen them in the past, right, when they were playing. When Gen.G knew that they were in a situation where they needed every single win they could get, they knew that if they needed to resort to pure defense, they were ready.
And if they have the defense going, look out, because their offense, I think, is the shining prowess of their team. Courtney unable to make it work there, but the individual play the mindset was there. Angie trying to find her teammate, hits a little bit too tough. It's going to fall towards the middle. It's a dangerous ball, but no Misfits gaming player there, and Gen.G are able to clear.
This one pitches off the wheel of Bella's car and it goes all the way into the Gen.G half. Kate, very, very low boost, enough to allow Angie to take a pass, and a shot doesn't go in. It's wide, and the counter-attack transition begins with Courtney. She opens up a demo onto Ravina. Bella still, if this ball's in the midfield, you gotta push up.
It's Ravina calmly waiting, tries to find Tally on the sidewall, but the boost wasn't there. Tally plays it smart, goes to that corner boost, takes control, and now Angie finds herself in the same situation. And look at the Gen.G rotations as they happen. The ball just is staying in that Misfits half and just doing such a great job of controlling the midfield.
Yes, they are. Courtney, not enough boost to keep this one going, but it almost turns into an unintentional fake. As we count down to the last 30 seconds, Tallybird puts a shot of her own on target, or just above, enough to count, enough to threaten Gen.G with a good time.
Kate, what she got, she's faking up off the wall, taking her time, nice spatial recognition. Good solo play, that's gonna open things up here for Courtney. Decides to take the dribble. She's just trying to burn the clock right now as it ticks down. She's got the 2-goal lead, and now she's got game in hand. Gen.G, Mobile 1 Black, even things up with Misfits. They try and maybe start something, and now the greatest rule of Rocket League, Rule 1, keep the ball up. And Angie, you're fired.
Legally, that means they lose, right?
Just this game.
Just this one.
Just this game, she's fired.
All right, well, Gen.G have claimed a win and tied up the series. They found themselves a little bit of success here, what they absolutely need. I think if Misfits had gone 2-0, we'd be talking a whole other storyline right now. But Gen.G, they tie it up 1-1, looking really incredible as well that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Gen.G's looking like themselves. The confidence is there. I mean, I would love to be able to play like Bella. She seems like she's just smiling while she plays. I literally look like a troll when I'm playing this game. Like, you would wonder if I'm even human. But, I mean, hats off to Bella. I mean, oh, we got a sign out. Courtney's cooking. Watch out, ladies.
Let's go. Look out, Courtney cooking. Oh, my goodness. And I believe it. I absolutely believe it. And we've got more Rocket League underway. This is just the beginning of the series.
Yeah, this is the grand finals, the first women's LAN. If you're just tuning in, we have 2 NA teams battling it out. Misfits and Gen.G evened up. We're about to head into that game 3. And even now, after that game you've last seen her, how are you feeling on the Misfits side? They weren't as strong defensively that game, and it seemed like their game plan, Gen.G came out, adjusted, and took control.
I mean, honestly, it's what I expected. I kind of expected game number 2 to kind of be a little bit more in favor of Gen.G. They do such an incredible job of adapting to Misfits. I think of any other team out there, it would be Misfits. They would be easiest to adapt to for them, right? They're both such high-level players, and it takes one to know one as Angie double taps this off the backboard to give Misfits the opening goal.
Angie, are you kidding me? Double touch off the back wall, top right. How do you like it? Misfits coming in hot, game 3.
Coming in hot indeed. Let them cook.
It's Courtney, great challenge. Ravina, she's been great off the sidewalls as she tries to do it again. Creates an opportunity for her team, but unable to find the connection as Kate off screen just bullying Tally in the backfield, trying to utilize that boost advantage and keep Misfits at bay, but it's not working. Tally pushes through and she gets things moving for her team.
And one thing to note, you know, boost control is really everything in this series, right? And for now, it feels like it's almost Gen.G controlling the boost, which is a little odd considering Misfits are the ones still in control of the game, which means ground play is going incredibly for them. But Ravina is trying to meet this one up in the air. Tallybird's gonna carry it away again. Low boost, unable to get it. It's just one after the other, a challenge that never seems to end. Kate pinches, sends this one away. Courtney might be able to follow this one up, or it's gonna be Kate who continues it on her own. Gen.G tie up the game.
Yeah, Kate putting Angie under a lot of pressure, and Courtney as well, just getting in the air into Angie's vision when that ball's coming. You're already in an awkward situation. Now you have players coming at you. It can force you to hesitate a little bit, and Gen.G capitalize on that with a quick follow-up, which is what they need. When Misfits are playing this controlled and this stable, you gotta have the follow-up as a flip reset double finds its way in as Courtney cleans up the beautiful solo play from Bella. Look at this.
Bella really, this entire series, we've got some of the most mechanical players in NA, but to see Bella have the chance to get to pop off on her own and for her teammate to make sure that her shot still found its way in was such a great moment. We're gonna see if Kate can do this on her own too. This one gets sent on back. Bella up next, demo onto Ravina, opens up the goal, and Courtney finds another one. Gen.G extend the lead by 2.
Courtney trying to get the crowd all hyped up into Gen.G's favor as she slots this one far right side. Not much Angie can do on zero boost. She tried her best, but Gen.G are just swarming the offensive path right now. They're in total control of the boost, like you were saying. They've got that physical game on lock. And now, if you're Misfits, you start to worry, is our defensive gameplay where we allow Gen.G to come at us? Maybe we need to start to make some adjustments.
Angie, she sees the ball, she wants to lock in on it. 30 boost left, it's Ravina that drops it down. Courtney with the save, taking her time up into the air. She goes and opts for a powerful clear towards the net. Thankfully, Angie was back in time to make sure it stayed saved. As we count down to half the game, it feels like we've played so much more at this point.
Yes, definitely have as the possession from Misfits. This is what I like to see. Ravina, she's sending one to Kate Tally off the sidewall. Angie unable to find it home. They didn't quite get the opportunity they had, but still, continued well by Angie off the sidewall. It's going to lead to more Misfits possession. Just that threat forced the clear, and now Tally can take over and try and kickstart more offense for Misfits as they're down 2.
This ball, looking to see who's going to take control of it. Ravina collects that Hunter boost, pops it up in the air. You can see that she's waiting to get challenged, and she does as this ball clears itself all the way to the other side. And the flick from Tallybird doesn't find its way in. But that's what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for Tallybird to kind of have that striker pop-off momentum that she usually does. She hasn't quite been able to find it yet.
Not yet, but the chances are there, as you were pointing out, and only a matter of time for someone as good as Tally till they find that finishing touch. Nice air carry out. One wins the 50 and forces Gen.G into a tough spot. 0 boost. That's going to let Angie have a free play here. Tries to pinch him in. She does. Tally's there, but Bella quickly off her goal line turns it aside.
Ravina, pinch off the ceiling. It's a center for anybody who wants to take it. The double jump to try and move a player out of the way is a new one. Here this we go. This ball into the corner. Demo onto Tallybird. Might be able to send Gen.G back enough, and it's just bumps and demos at this point from Misfits Gaming. And despite all of it, Gen.G are still able to put continuous shots on target.
I'm not sure if it's the physical play or the Gen.G pressure, maybe their challenges. It's just that Misfits are having such a tough time playing the defense that they were playing earlier on in the day and in game 1 of the series. It seems like Gen.G has just adjusted so well. They have Kate causing a lot of problems, and Courtney and Bella both taking more of a back seat and towards the midfield. It's really opening up a lot of offense for them.
This ball's gonna fall over into the corner. Challenge here. 30 seconds left to go. Ravina takes a wide shot. Courtney tries to intercept it. Actually ends up keeping this ball in the Gen.G half, but a big clear off the backboard could do wonders for Gen.G. Granted, they are still up by 2. Nothing's changed here. Courtney up towards the backboard. It takes a double commit to try and hold her back. 8 seconds left in game number 3. Gen.G want to find series lead.
And they're going to as the clock runs out in game 3. Gen.G take the all-important game 3. As we look here at the players, not much celebration, instantly turn to the coach. Is what I like to see.
I love it.
It's all focus, man.
The second it hits the ground, they're like, turn around, what do we gotta do? Let's keep it going. And you can see it, they are waiting and ready. I think might be a little conversation that's about to go down, but we are going to take a quick pause here, but we will be back momentarily, so don't go anywhere. But game number 3. Again, it's nothing less of what we expected. This is definitely one of those series that can flip-flop back and forth for as long as it wants.
Yeah, and Misfits are having trouble playing, you know, that style and matching pace with Gen.G. And it's difficult to say why that is from this perspective. But I think for Misfits, you got to try and go back to the dribbling plays. We haven't seen Ravina as dominant in her dribbles and create more space for those opportunities, because Gen.G have clearly figured things out here. They've won 2 games in a row, and they've done it scoring 3 and 4 goals each. So, ooh, we got some crowd shots. I don't want to talk anymore. I love the crowd shots. Like,
wave to the camera, guys. We see you. Hello, hi. I want some of that popcorn too.
Yeah, can you pass that over here, bro?
Bring it out here. Thank you. I appreciate it. To the ominous voices up there.
All right, chat, who you guys got? Or crowd, who you guys got? You guys think of Gen.G? Make some noise? Gen.G, okay. Now, what about Misfits? Any Misfits fans over here? Oh my God, wait a minute.
Wait, I didn't realize how many people were here.
Yeah.
Bella, your patches are
I love the flashing sign. I need to get one of those for the desk.
Yeah, it looks great. We're going to have to get one up. Prod, we need to get on that during this break. We need a sign of our own to cheer on these teams. All right, I think it is almost time to come back. But headed into this next matchup, do you got any predictions on the way it is going to lead?
Oh, man, it's really, really tough both ways. I think it's really important for me to see how Misfits come out of this break and how they adjust. You know, maybe it was the bathroom break that saves the series. It could be one of those situations. Who knows?
That would be crazy.
Because sometimes those pauses can completely flip how you're feeling as a team, the momentum of the other side. It's almost like a mini timeout.
Tactical bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
That's the new plan.
I mean, I'm not trying to say like bathroom break gate. I'm not trying to say anything, but you know.
Bathroom break hack. Don't do it. But you didn't hear that from us. Anyway, back into this game here. Shot towards the net. Courtney saves it, denied. Every other synonym out there is what kept that ball out of the net. It's Ravina placing this one into the corner here. Kate carrying it off to the other end. And this game's starting out strong.
Definitely is. Both teams fighting for possession early on. No kickoff dominance, which is what I like to see. I hate the kickoff goals that come in. Courtney unable to find a teammate on the sidewall, but makes a nice passing play that's followed up by Bella. Angie in the right position, unable to make contact. Combined with the demo, it's going to lead to an open net chance, and Courtney buries it for Gen.G, and they're up 1 already.
You could watch Courtney go, oh my gosh, I didn't hit this where I wanted it. I need to just slow down a second here and make sure that this ball finds its way on in. Gen.G get the early game lead.
Kickoffs can be so scary. Angie nicely controlled there. Finds Tally on the far side with the flip in hand. Ends up being a fake all around. The ball's careening in front. Can someone take control? Ravina does, and she ties things up.
Look at Misfits on this one. Angie, she takes a shot of her own. Bella gets the save. Then what happens next? Ravina comes and takes a shot of her own. 2 Gen.G players in the net is not even enough to be able to stop an amazing player like her. Misfits have tied up the game.
And it's even more difficult when you don't have any boost, just from how the kickoff went. It's Courtney not getting the touch she wanted there, but improvises nicely as Kate with the bailout play. Able to grab that boost. That's going to get things going here for Gen.G. So the ball pops up, open net, tough save, and Angie makes it.
Up into the air challenge. Here comes Kate. Everyone really just, it's almost like the most fast-paced feeler you could have. Nobody really knows where game 4 is going to go because this is a swing game. Gen.G takes it. They get to head towards match point. Misfits, they tie up the series. So this is a really important one for both of these teams. No matter where it goes, Talibur making sure this one doesn't become a center.
Woo! Beautiful save on the side as Tally trying to transition out of defense. Bella's trying her best to keep her at bay. Delicately floats across, but unable to get onto a Misfit car correctly for a shot, as now it quickly turns into defense for Misfits as they're scrambling to get control here in the midfield. And the ball finds Ravina, and it's on Angie to clear.
Less than 3 minutes to go, still tied. Tons of pressure for Gen.G, and as soon as I say that, the transition begins. And as soon as I say that, it is right on back. That is just how quick it has been with these two. I feel like, again, best analogy to say it is it's tug of war between these two teams for control of this ball and to find a chance to just shoot the ball on net. Now, realistically, Gen.G has been the one in control of the offensive front, but Misfits' defense has been nothing less than a massive brick wall.
Yeah, Angie has been Wonder Woman all day long today. Some of the saves she was making were absolutely crazy. This Gen.G midfield control is something spectacular. Every time Misfits are trying to clear the ball, it gets met at midfield by a Gen.G player, and it's not just controlling the ball. They're finding their teammates, they're swarming, they're taking boosts, they're just putting so much pressure on Misfits right now, and it can be so tough to deal with as a team as Tally buys them a bit more time.
It does make me a little bit nervous to see how close Misfits are playing to each other. I understand it's defense, but you gotta spread out a bit. Otherwise, Kate will find the one open spot that she can to make sure this ball goes into the net.
And there's no boost on the field right now for Misfits. And if they had the boost, their defense would hold up. But Gen.G not allowing that to happen. And the pressure right now is just so much. Ravina tries to slow things down here for Misfits. They got to keep in mind they're only down 1 goal. Yes, you're down in the series, but don't make it bigger than it is.
Exactly. Keep things close. So that way the opportunity to score 1 goal is extremely important. That one rolled towards that upper 90 there. Incredible save. Pass towards the back wall. Nobody there to follow it up. It'll be Talibird. No connection, so it gives Bella the opportunity to take a shot of her own. And it just keeps going. It's this back and forth movement of who can keep control, for more than even 10, 15 seconds at a time.
Who's going to be able to find the gap in that shot off the post? Wow, that didn't look like it would bounce towards the net, but it did, and it caused problems for Misfits as Cade finds the open ball and puts it home.
This last 53 seconds, this is the biggest mental game Misfits are about to play.
Yeah, absolutely. This next minute is huge for Gen.G. The 2-goal lead is scary. The kickoff can be scary. They've handled that test now. Can they handle the Angie solo play? They do, as Bella buys her team some time.
Ravina up next. Small touch to open up the net. There was a demo that would have made sure it was in. No connection from Angie as the third. And Misfits' opportunity goes wayside. It's the back pass to try and reset things for this team, but time is running away from them as Bella tries to push Gen.G towards the net and either find another goal, waste precious time, but the reverse transition from Ravina finds its way in. 17 seconds left, and Gen.G now only lead by 1.
Yeah, really pretty play there. Ravina able to pop it up, saves her flip for almost 2 seconds. It felt like flips at the last second, beats her. Can Gen.G stave this kickoff off as a fake comes through?
Everybody hold on to your seats because Misfits can pull some crazy stuff off if they really, really wanted to here. Talibird pops this one up high. She sees Ravina. Ravina, no connection with the ball on there. It actually pops up off the corner. Ball is still in play. Is anybody going to be able to collect it? This one's still up. Touch from Bella disrupted it just enough to make Misfits shake in their boots. Angie keeping it up high. Bella, she wants to kill this ball, and the touch actually kills it. Gen.G are headed to match point.
All right, Gen.G fans, let's hear it. Your team is entering match point. It's all on the line for Misfits. Do or die. The first women's LAN, you find yourselves down. Herc, what are you telling your teammates right now to pull yourselves up?
This is one of those moments where you've got to remember what your history as a team looks like.
We got a chant going on, I think. Oh, guys, we need you louder.
We can hear you. Get louder.
We got Misfits chant.
We got a Misfits chant going on. Gen.G, can you outbeat them?
I see a few animals in the crowd. Are there some goats out there? That's crazy. Everyone's having a good time. It's so heartwarming to see.
I love it.
Really is.
Guys, at this very, very moment, you are a part of true Rocket League history. The very first international women's Rocket League LAN. This is, give it up one more time. This is such a monumental moment, and there is a chance that it is all about to end in this next matchup as Gen.G sits on match point in this best of 7 in our Rocket Clash Grand Finals.
It starts off all Gen.G as it ended. All the pressure on this blue half, but don't fret if you're a Misfits fan. That's what they've been used to all tournament long. They're comfortable sitting on defense, but so far, Gen.G has done a tremendous job at just picking them apart. Every gap that they create is Angie double touchdown, and Ravina comes in late to put it home.
That's the Ravina and Tally we know, and it took all 3 players. It's just one to the other. 1, 2, 3. This one goes in. Misfits find the 1-goal lead, but how long is it going to live?
Hopefully longer than this kickoff, Herc, because nothing makes me more sad than a kickoff goal. Is Tally able to grab that boost? That's huge. The ball goes out towards the middle, and Angie out of nowhere makes the save.
ball's in the midfield. Courtney, just enough boost to get a touch to allow Gen.G to break on into this half. And as our first minute of gameplay slowly starts to count down, Misfits continue to hold on to their 1-goal lead, looking to turn it to 2.
Ravina tried to keep possession there with the back pass. Misfits have been utilizing that a lot, but actually backfires here as a shot comes in. Ravina turns it aside. Tally trying to find her, but nicely interrupted by Gen.G. Watch out though, Ravina got a demo, and that's going to open things up here as Misfits try and find the goal.
Angie carrying this one down. She's looking for a teammate. Kate taking a shot of her own! Misfits have tied up the game!
Courtney putting a little pressure on Angie and tried to do the back pass, but Kate takes the open possession and just able to put it above Tally. Ravina unable to reach. Now Gen.G find their opening, tie things up. If you're Misfits, you gotta be a little worried because most of Gen.G's goals have been capitalizing on those tiny little misplays. Otherwise, Misfits have been playing so well, but that Gen.G capitalization on those errant balls has been picture perfect all day long.
Absolutely. It's just picture perfectly. Gameplay, from this team. So here comes Gen.G in this half. All 3 players from Misfits just sitting on that defensive end waiting to defend every single shot that comes in, and Gen.G's just knocking on the door, trying to end the series. Bella, she drops it down. I think she wanted to go for the pinch. This one opens up the opportunity for Kate to clear this one all the way in. Can she get the next touch? No!
Angie once again saves them on the goal line. Tally just enough boost, but can't find the touch. Gen.G scramble to make it clear. Multiple players committed the ball. That's going to open up some midfield space, but unable to connect on the pass is Ravina. She gets a demo for her troubles, though, and that's going to give Misfits possession, starting out of their own defensive half.
We are officially left with half of Game 5. Misfits are trying to break into the Gen.G half and find a leading goal, but Courtney's got other plans. All 3 players from Misfits continue to challenge this ball. A beat in the air from Kate, goes towards the net, and Tallybird defends it.
Tally trying to create some offense here. Angie wisely slows down the play, has the dribble opportunity, but Kate slams the door shut.
There's a clear into the midfield. Everybody's just taking their time. Ravina off the inside of her car, pops it up, and Courtney takes this ball back, carries it all the way into the corner, collects the boost, which could be interesting. It'll come back in her favor, maybe eventually, as this one goes back into the midfield. She sees it, she's taking her time. Who's up next to control it? It's actually gonna be Tallybird with a demo on to Courtney, sending her home to open up something for this Gen.G team to try and find a lead or a shot as Courtney puts this one on in. Gen.G go up by 1.
What an absolute missile from Courtney. Bella off the sidewall. Kate and Courtney combined to find the top left. I didn't realize the pinch happened. My goodness. Misfits can't be too upset about that one as Gen.G just find a connection, and now 120 remaining in potentially a Misfits tournament life. Can they scrape back in?
Well, let's find out here. It's Courtney's fighting to break back into the half. This ball in the direction of the Misfits goal. Pinch off the backboard to put this one into the corner, but it's Kate ready to challenge, ready to face off against Ravina. A demo sends her on back. Bella, opportunity to set up a passing play. No connection with Courtney on this one.
Almost was there for Gen.G. Boost lacking a bit. Bella has some space. She's going to go towards the middle. Courtney, full boost to her name. She has the double tack, and she finds the second touch. Fortunately not, but it falls right back to her teammate, and the ball goes right back into the Misfits half.
35 seconds. This ball up into the air. Courtney looking to secure the win. Ravina sending this one away. Another shot on target. Tallybird keeping this one out. And with 20 seconds to go, Gen.G are doing everything in their power to hold on to the lead.
Massive plays out of defense from Misfits as the clock ticks down. Tally's got to try and find something, but as usual, Gen.G is there, and it's 0
champions for the women's scene goes to Gen.G Mobile 1 Racing Black.
Congratulations to them. I mean, they earned it. They were the most dominant team here today. And all three players, all three phases of the game, they had so many layers. They're like an onion. You'd get by one, and there's two more. They were just rotationally sound. They were efficient with their movement. They had great passing plays, and obviously the individual skill. I don't know how Ravina saved that last double flip reset from Courtney. It was incredible.
It was absolutely incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your very first Dreamhack Rocket Clash champions, Gen.G Mobile 1 Racing Black.
An onion, but it makes you cry because it's tears of joy on the stage for all the Gen.G Mobile 1 Racing Black fans and obviously all the players as well. So well deserved, a commanding grand final from them, and so rightfully so. They'll be taking home that 10,000, half that 20K prize pool, and as well that very nice but particularly sharp trophy at the top. So be careful with that one while you're partying on your way out. I mean, it just felt like it was never out of their control. They felt like Gen.G came in with a game plan and they executed it to a T.
Yeah, in all of the time I've been able to watch both of these teams, the one thing I can say is Gen.G genuinely are one of the most consistent teams in the women's Rocket League scene. And they absolutely proved that today, being able to prove that not only online, but on LAN, they are the absolute best.
Yeah, they're the best women's team in the world. They set the bar. And now it's on all the other ladies to go up and catch them. And congratulations to them. They played phenomenal. And I just couldn't write a better story. It was so good. Such a good final.
Yeah, not at all. And so, granted, we normally would have just a standard interview, but this team is anything but standard. So we're just going to cram in all the players and their lovely coach, Elsie Coro, to be able to see just how these champions are feeling after this event. So obviously we have this nice trophy, we have this wonderful team, and hopefully we can get one of you a headset, I believe, on the far side to be able to get your thoughts if anyone would like to take a first stab at it. All right, so with this tournament done, first off, I gotta say, were you guys sweating it all right here? It felt like you guys were coming in pure class, all chill, all ice, and so now with all over, how does it feel to be the first international champion for a Women's Rocket League tournament?
It's unreal. I can't even describe what I'm feeling right now.
I'm gonna cry. It's gonna happen.
And what was going through your heads, you guys, as the final clock ticked down? You realize that, you know, all you have to do is kill it, and the emotions start to take over. Were you guys feeling it as the clock was ticking down, or were you all focused on remaining calm?
I'd say we were feeling it, for sure.
I felt locked personally. That's just me, though.
I'm my best.
Belly, I mean, you play smiling, so I think you're always having a good time. I'm jealous of that, but
it's fun.
So how did you guys feel going into the Misfits matchup after that first game? They took game one, and you guys obviously showed out from there. What adjustments did you guys make?
Honestly, we just wanted to play our game, cut off their passes, just take all their boost, give them nothing.
I'd say it worked.
I would say I was the member of the desk that did not actually vote for Gen.G. And now, I don't necessarily regret it because I know what Misfits are capable of, but I also should know by now what y'all are capable of because I've seen you guys win enough tournaments. But now, yes, you can definitively say, no, you're not just the best in NA, you are the best in the world as of right now. This is really the most definitive tournament we've had with the best of the best from around. And so going back to you, Courtney, I mean, you've been, I think, someone who has talked a lot about the confidence and the journey and obviously the cohesion. One thing I'm really impressed by is how well you guys play together with so many different thirds. Now you do have Kate here. You have filled in so well, played spectacular throughout the tournament. And I got to know, like, what's the sauce here for Gen.G? What do you feel like separates you from everyone else out there?
We have a good team environment. We have a lot of fun playing together. And we just all know how to play our role individually and to be the best team.
It's short and simple. That's all we have, just like this tournament, because it is now over. One more time, give it up for Gen.G Mobile One Racing Black, your Rocket Clash champions here on the Dreamhack Dallas main stage. With that said, we'll let you guys go celebrate because, yes, you have earned a nice trophy, some nice prize pool winnings, and hopefully you guys can enjoy something. Go by the pool, kick back, something, do something to relax. I know today probably has been stressful, but this has been a spectacular ride all throughout. So let's take one last look at that bracket to see how we got to this Gen.G victory. We have our two semifinals, obviously, with a huge upset that first off with Misfits taking it in 7 over Williams Resolve, the team that had been undefeated for about 36 games straight. And then within Gen.G Mobile One Racing Black and Endpoint 4-1 to be able to bring Gen.G and Misfits to our grand finals. We all know how that one ended. Such a good job. Gen.G, I mean, they don't even feel like going to Game 6. There's just no need.
They were just that dominant early on, and it just carried momentum. It was really tough for Misfits to adjust with the talent that Gen.G have, and you could hear it in the interviews. I mean, the cohesion is there, the genuine love for each other is there. I mean, and you can feel it when they're talking about each other, and that's something that I want in a team. And when you see that on display, it's a beautiful thing, and it's really nice to see that a team has that much cohesion, that much energy, that much passion, and to carry themselves with the grace that they have. I don't think that there could be a better champion right now.
I really don't think there can be. And unfortunately, that will bring us to the end of this. But as we said, we keep saying this is a historic tournament, not just because the prize pool, not because it's live, not because it's LAN, because it's the first in the women's scene that has been on an international stage, that has been a LAN. We've talked a lot about those online tournaments, but of course, it all has to be said and done here in person. So, I mean, for me, this has been the experience of a lifetime. I love the women's scene. I love how advanced it's getting mechanically, strategically, and now competitively with these larger events. So I know this has been something I certainly won't forget. I hope the players won't as well. But Herc, I mean, you've been around for a while as well as you, Karma. I just want to get your thoughts on how it feels to have a tournament like this finally come to a conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say as much as I can without tearing up, but I watched these girls for years at this point, and I got my start in casting with them, and I genuinely feel like these girls have changed my life. They supported my journey, and I'm so honored that I was able to support theirs in this moment. I'm so happy I was able to be chosen and to share it with you too. And I truly believe that this is just the beginning for the women's scene in Rocket League, and I cannot wait for there to be more LANs, more opportunities for everyone.
Yeah, it's a super emotional moment up here. There's seeing women being treated the way they are right now. They have huge crowds out there. We had, org chants going on, and, Ally sponsoring tournament, Dreamhack doing such a great job. Everyone, I don't know how I feel. I feel very uplifted, and I'm excited for the future, for sure.
Honestly, that's all we have to look forward to is the future, because everything here is in the past. This has been Dreamhack Dallas' main stage event of the Rocket Clash $20,000 women's tournament, going yet again to Gen.G Mobile One Racing Black. A round of applause and a bunch of shouts and cheers for them, I am sure. But for everyone here on the desk, everyone in the back, and of course Ally for helping bring this event, we say thank you for watching, and until next time, have a wonderful rest of your evening. And if you're here at Dreamhack, enjoy this festival.